Welcome in, folks. It is Wednesday. We are just days away from the college football season getting underway. I don't know if there's any games on Thursday or Friday. I don't think there is Saturday, though. There are a couple of teams that Michigan keeps in mind from time to time. Notre Dame is playing over in Dublin. They're playing against Navy. And then USC, future Big Ten rival of Michigan, perhaps. We'll be up there with Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State. It's kind of like the big four of the Big Ten. Starting in 2024, they play on Saturday as well against San Jose State. Funny matchup, by the way. I don't know if you guys know. Brady Hoke getting to kind of channel 2011 again. Brady Hoke and his San Diego State Aztecs, they're playing Ohio. Remember, Brady Hoke wouldn't say state. He just call him Ohio. Well, he's back at it. San Diego State playing the Ohio Bobcats on Saturday as part of a college football week 0 slate. I don't know how many games there are, probably 7, 8, 9 or so, but Notre Dame, USC playing some lower opponents are the headline matchups of the day coming up on Saturday. Let me know what you guys think on this question. What season did you become a Michigan football fan? Without giving away my age, I went to a game in the late 80s, a game or two, Ohio State game one year, and I went to a game against Illinois, I think it was, where Michigan clinched the Big Ten in the late 80s and then had to go on the road to play Ohio State the next week. So, late 80s there. And then I think the first season I really remember, right, was 1991 because I definitely remember the Desmond Howard run against Ohio State. I remember watching the Heisman Trophy ceremony with my family a couple weeks later when Desmond won the Heisman. So let me know what season you guys became a Michigan football fan. I see Netmeg in there. I think she was 1969. She's there on time. Netmeg, what do you think about this time? 5 o'clock on a Wednesday. You guys like that time? Vote in the poll above. We're going to stick with Wednesday as our live show time, and then I think we're going to go live during game day for, if not the entire game, which we're definitely going to do for the opener, we're going to go live for the post game for pretty much every other game. I may be out of town 2 weekends. We can't do a live show. I'll do a post game show from the road. But other than that, we'll be here in studio bringing you at least a live post game show, or hell, we might just be live for 5 hours during the game and the entire post game. So I see 2003 from Justin Sykes. I see 1982 from Bill Graves. Bill's also giving me a Bosa. Let's see. Justin, I said 2003. DS is 1991. You, Mike, 1972. 1994 from Jim Kaler. So let me know what you guys think about that poll up top. 65%, like this time right here. Now, if there's a better time for you, I've considered going live at like 9 o'clock Eastern. If you think you'd be more likely to make that, let me know in the comments, and we'll maybe consider later videos. Maybe not every week. Maybe we'll do 5 o'clock one week and 9 o'clock the next. Who knows? We are flexible. 1997 from Brian Klukowski, a great year to become a Michigan football fan. 76 from you, Mike, graduated. And then John Quillan, I should say, 1973. Next question up. Predict the score. Let's get some score predictions. Jack, do you remember what I predicted yesterday? I can't remember. 52-9. That's right. Yeah, you're right. Because three field goals for ECU. They're returning a lot less than I thought. Right? They went 8-5 last year, and I was expecting, wow, that's a turnaround team. They were in the conference championship game, but they've lost something like 16 plus starters. They are really relying on some not that highly talented transfer portal players. So I do expect this to be a bigger Michigan win than I think I first expected when you just look, ECU 8-5 last year. Maybe that's more like an Middle Tennessee State from 5 years ago or so, where Michigan won 42-23 or something like that. Not going to be that close. I couldn't see. So let's give you guys some score predictions. 63-0 Michigan from DS. Zach Jenkins, my man, says 59-13. 49-3 from Netmeg. Meg says 9 p.m. She got a commitment at that time. Who are you watching at 9 o'clock, Meg? Let me know in the comments. 55-6 from Bill Graves. Keep the comments rolling. Let's get some more score predictions in this show as we are building up the audience. As you guys know, there we go. Jeremy Clore, he's got the sticker. Jack, toss that one up on the screen. You guys know the drill if you watched the show before. The hard hats. Jeremy Clore, we're going to add him to the leaderboard. We'll show here, Jeremy. I'm going to get one. $5 more, Jeremy, and you get a second sticker on this show. So what's the date today, Jack? The 23rd? I almost put 6/23. You know what, Jeremy? I'm not going to mess you up. I'm going to give you an entirely new sticker because I started to write the wrong date. And that is Jeremy Clore. Jeremy is on the producer's video, right, Jack? Yep, Jeremy's on there from last year. I think quite a few times. Well, he had quite a few stickers, of course, but on there as a producer from the 2022 season that kind of wrapped up in March. I think we cut it off when Jaden Davis committed to Michigan. So he is on the Hard Hat Club. If you guys are unfamiliar, let me give you guys a little tip. Anyone who contributes $10 to the show will get a hard hat. What I'm planning to do right now is I am going to mail one of these out to somebody after every single Michigan game. So we've got 4 sitting here that are almost filled up. I expect to fill them all up. So we've got a little bit of a head start 4 or 5 weeks in advance. This is the one. Putting the names and the dates. Josiah Carter, Jeremy Clore, he's on there from back in April. Josiah Carter, John Blaze, our Super Chat MVP. Shane Johnson, Mike K, get some more names, more shout-outs. Jake Nadeau, Brad Bucherite, Dominic Francillo, Bill Graves, so I see there in the live chat as my marker gets fallen down. But I got a backup marker, Jack. That's no big deal. John Blaze and Josiah Carter, they really came to play. They won the one show a couple weeks ago. Blue Wolverine, one of our longtime contributors and longtime viewers. Charles Kennebrew, Javier Gregson, Jim Prindle, Backroad Blue, Matthew Spencer. I'm trying to not double up names. We got a lot of multiple timers on here. John Blaze being the ultimate MVP. Going back to the beginning of April, late March, Robert Davis, Jacksonville Zoe, Javier Gregson again, Backroad Blue, Chad Ode, and Cruiser for Show, G Calendar, Cruel Moti. He is on the he's on the top 10, right, Jack? On the producer video. So that is what it is. $5 coming in from Mike K. Mike, you didn't put a comment, but we really appreciate you. We'll add you to the list on the Super Chat leaderboard throughout the year. I think that's probably going to do is just kind of pick somebody from the top 10 every show, every post-game show every week, and send them off a helmet. And maybe we'll add like a T-shirt or something like that. We'll make it a little bit of a two for prize. A helmet and a T-shirt from Jack and I here at the Michigan Football Report. One more from Jeremy. He is Bosa, so he gets a sticker. Jack, toss up the Super Chat menu and tell the people why I'm running Jeremy's second sticker for him if you can.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the Super Chat menu. Like we said, with Jeremy sending in another $5 Super Chat. Here I am. Hello, everybody. With Jeremy sending in another $5 Super Chat, that is $20. Every $10 is a sticker, so therefore he's getting another sticker. James is doing that right now. Today's MVP is going to win a The Dawn t-shirt. So whoever Super Chats the most over the entirety of today's stream, by the time the stream is over, you're going to win a The Dawn t-shirt. You guys already know. We'll show those in a few seconds. $5, you get your question answered, and you get a shout-out. We've already shouted out Mike K, Jeremy Clore, Nutmeg we're going to get to in a second. Nutmeg, sorry. Nutmeg we're going to get to in a second. $10 we've already talked about. Join the Hard Hat Hall of Fame. $20 we have wheel spin. We have a wheel here that's got a lot of interesting options and things that James and I might have to do today, which is going to be a lot of fun. And then every $50.
Not every $50, $50. Someone says a 50.
Someone says a 50.
So Wednesday afternoon,
if you send
we can't
a
get that crazy, yeah.
If you send a $50 Super Chat, I'm just going to let you guys in on a little secret right now, okay? This is just between you and me, okay? I don't drink a lot. Everyone at Chat Sports knows I'm not a big drinker. But for the Michigan faithful over here, if you send in a $50 Super Chat, I'm taking a shot at tequila. We are a week and some change away from week 1 of college football play. So we're going to get a little rowdy, have a little bit of fun, send in those Super Chats.
Nice. That is Jack Louderay, a.k.a. Young Harbaugh. We had Nutmeg. Nutmeg's a first-time Super Chatter, I think, right, Jack? No? Okay, she must have done there. Okay, thank you, Nutmeg. Appreciate it. Sure, I'll chip in. Bosa forever. Beat Ohio State again. Thank you, Nutmeg. I wanted to bring out, we were going to do it last week, Jack. I remember the hail for a first-time Super Chatter. So anybody who Super Chats the first time, any amount, you're going to get a first-time Super Chat. Let's just say it's Nutmeg. Coming in from Nutmeg. Hail to Nutmeg, something like that. We'll come up with a little jingle. So appreciate that, Nutmeg. She's in the helmet. You are also on our end of year coming up after February. We'll have an end screen for all of next, March into next football season with your name on it, Nutmeg. Anybody who sends a $10 or more this entire season will be on the end screen. All right, we'll get started here in a few moments, maybe 2-3 minutes from now. Type the Boses in the comment. Beat Ohio State again. Going for a third straight time. Michigan beating Ohio State. Meg says it was her first, so I think YouTube analytics are they're slipping right there. So we're gonna give her one. Get some Boses going in the comments. I got Jacksonville Zoe, a longtime hard hat member on the Boses. Mike K with the beat Ohio State again. There he is. Mike K is getting himself a sticker. Get the Boses in the comments as I add a Mike K to the helmet today. 8. What do you think? Jack says that Mike K is moving himself up the leaderboard really, really quick. So let me show you that right there. Mike, I got you on there right there, my man. And then Meg, where did I put that one? Netmeg right there. You see me right there, Netmeg. Appreciate you guys. We only got about 3, 4, 5, maybe like 10, 12 more stickers. Then this helmet is done. I got maybe 5 spots in this helmet. I got to order some helmets before next week. There is a $20 from Jim Kalich. He is a first time. Let's get the name right. Is Kalich? I'm going to say Kalich right there. So there is a $20 super chat. First time super chatter for Jim Kalich. We're going to give a hail to Jim Kalich, the leading super chatter and best. Hey, thank you so much, Jim. We're going to give you 2 stickers, Jack. I won't keep the people won't just be sticker guy right there. So start keeping track. I'm going to give Jim 1 sticker, and we'll get the other one after the show. So let me get that on there. Jim, Kalich, and he is 823. Jim, really appreciate it. He says FJB. I think it's fuck Joe Biden, Jeff. Jack, I'm not. He said the $20, and I got to say it, right? I got to say it. Hey, first time super chatter. There we go. $20 from Jim. Really appreciate it, Jim. We got 2 stickers. Let me show you your sticker right there. We just added you to the super chat sticker right there. Right? Oh, wrong way. Boom, right there. Thank you so much, Jim, for the $20 super chat. All right, Jack, let's ask this question. Let's start the show. We can kind of skip over the other questions that we have. What's the best pizza place in Michigan? I have had quite a few people invite me to tailgates and stuff like that, but have a few special friends going to the Michigan game. One of them hasn't been in forever, and the other one hasn't been in like 15 years or so. They want to go get some pizza on Friday night, somewhere in this, within 45 minutes of Ann Arbor, Detroit, Ann Arbor, downriver, anything like that. But if you got anywhere else in the state of Michigan, let me know in the comments right now if you can. I want to give the best recommendations. I'm not sure if I'm the guy to do so. I've spent a lot of time in Ann Arbor, last time in Allen Park, Lincoln Park, Detroit, but I don't think I'm a pizza connoisseur to the level that I would want to give a good recommendation. So let me know before Mike K do a tailgate. I'm pretty sure I'm going to go to the Minnesota game on a road game, take my son up there on October 7th. So if anybody's going to that game, let me know. Yoder and Son will be at your disposal because if I go, I have absolutely no plans. We're going to fly up on a Friday, leave Sunday morning, have all day to do on Saturday. Not sure what time the game is yet. I got buddies from Zach Jenkins, Grandma Bob's. I'm going to write all these down. What's that? Buddies from Netmag. Okay. All right. So Buddies might be the spot. Won't catch up to Blaze. Yeah, John Blaze is crushing it, Mike. You are for sure on that one. Jim McClure with a Bosa. They should have a Bosa. We should just create a Bosa pizza chain. That would be a good one. They might have service go live. Yeah, I mean, Minnesota might have service. We're going to talk about Wi-Fi here in a few minutes, Mike. So Grandma Bob's and Buddies, a couple in there. So if you guys have any buddies from Mike as well. So I've got 2 really good ones there. If you guys see this throughout, if you think of one, put it in the live chat. Jack and I will go and review. If Jack, you see anybody, you just add pizza. Buddy 6 Miles, the original one. Appreciate that, Netmag as well. All right, guys, can we get 50 guys and gals, 50 likes to start the show? We won't hold you hostage on this one since we're not going to play games today. We got a football game, Jack, in 10 days. We got a football game in 10 days. But I'd like to get 40, 50, 60 likes on this video. So it just really, we study the YouTube algorithm here at Chat Sports, the Michigan Football Report. You get likes early on in a live show, and YouTube will say, ooh, what's going on here? Let's put this in the feeds of more fans that we think like this team. They watch Michigan football. If somebody watched a Michigan football video yesterday, they might see this one today. I've never heard of our show, heard of our channel. If another fellow Michigan fan gives the video a like. Jack, before I said that we were going to go to the thing, but let's actually plug the watch party really quick. I want to make sure we talk about that here early in the show. Lobster roll pizza from the GB. Appreciate that, Eric. Thank you. Great Lakes Pub, Eatery in Dundee. I like that as well. I will look these ones up and give them a list. If you didn't hear, we are going to be live. I will have a camera directly on me. We're going to have the scoreboard, stats, breakdowns, receiving leaders, all that good stuff. We're not going to show the game. But I don't know what to expect from Peacock, so if you want to enjoy the game, I'll have the game on behind me, right behind the camera, and I'll be basically doing play-by-play and taking your questions the entire game. We're going to go live about 45 minutes before kickoff. The game is on Peacock, so that's why we're going to take a stab at doing a watch party. So if you just want to see me watch a game and commentate it and have observations, go ahead and join us next Saturday, September 2nd, 11:15, and then we'll go immediately into a post-game afterwards. So we'll be live for 4.5 hours, maybe close to 5 hours when all things are said and done. Rule change in college football this year. I don't know if it's been that talked about, which is crazy, is the clock is not going to stop after first downs anymore. I think it's 2 minutes left in the half and in the end of the game. So college football games should speed up by about 15 or 20 minutes versus the past, where sometimes they've gone as many as 4 hours with all the stops after first downs and TV timeouts. On today's show, guys, we have 4 things we're going to go through. I'm going to talk about, where is my menu here? Michigan football fact or fiction, some questions that people have put in the chats and things like that, seen out there. Fact or fiction on 5-6 questions on Michigan football. We'll take your questions in the mailbag, so use hashtag Michigan. I will then go and do 5 burning questions, different than fact or fiction, and then a second audience live mailbag. Also have a few comments from the mailbag post I put on social media on Monday, I think it was. So got a mix of live questions and some that people had sent in last couple days. So that is the lineup on show. We should be live for about another hour and 15 minutes. Stick with us as long as you can. But also, if you can't, all 4 of these segments will go up on the channel over the next 4 days. It's Michigan football fact or fiction. Let's get it going right now. Let's just start off this show talking about what I think is the most important yet under-discussed part of this Michigan football offseason with an eye to the season which is underway in little over a week. It's the Michigan football defense, and I will kind of jump into that. But before we do, I just want to ask you guys to like the video. We like to get every show rolling and rocking with likes, so YouTube says, whoa, we should show this to more Michigan football fans. So let's get us to 100 likes ASAP. If you could just hit that like button for us, then continue watching the show. As I mentioned off the top, here's what I want to talk about. The Michigan defense. What a great defense they were for much of last year. We saw things a little bit here and there. The Illinois game, they're ripping off a few running plays here and there. Okay, Michigan's they're bending but not breaking. Ohio State, okay, Coleridge Stroud throws for 350 yards, but they're wasted yards. They're not really meaning anything. Michigan gives them anything, underneath, inside the 20, in between the 20s. Then when you get inside the 20, is lock down, attack the quarterback, don't give up scores, only 3 points in the second half. But when we think about the TCU game and then back it up one more game to the Purdue game, there were some trends that I just didn't like what I saw. To me, as it says on the screen there, Michigan's defense is under the microscope because of their performance against TCU and, in some regards, Purdue. And I think because of how many starters they've got returning, all the talent on the defensive line, the 2 deep at linebacker, Will Johnson, and Makari Page, and Mike Sainristil, and so many other players coming back on this defense that people just think, this is going to be one of the best defenses in the country. It definitely could be, but there have been some chinks in the armor over the last 2 seasons, especially the college football playoff, that I would like to talk about today. If you haven't yet, make sure you are following the Michigan Football Report on Instagram. We relaunched on Instagram about 3 or 4 months ago. Had an account from 2018-19 season that got up to like 5,000 subscribers or followers, but I was inactive for a while. I guess they sent me emails saying that I got to stay active. I never did it, so I just canceled the account. But I got the handle back. Nobody stole it. So make sure you guys follow us. If you're watching live, it is in the live chat or down in the comments in the description of today's video at Michigan Football Report. And one day a week, I think this year, I'm going to make the account private for a day, put up some inside information. So you don't want to miss that. Just press follow at Michigan Football Report on Instagram. How about Aiden O'Connell? Aiden O'Connell from Purdue. And why is AOC in the news right now? It's not because of anything in Washington, Jack. It's because of something in Las Vegas. AOC, Aiden O'Connell, the backup quarterback now with the Raiders, making a big splash in preseason. He put up 366 yards against Michigan. And if it wasn't for Will Johnson's 2 interceptions, that Big Ten championship game could have been a different story. How about the wide receiver for Purdue, Charlie Jones? Maybe I blacked it out. I just don't remember him having this high stats. I know they put out a lot of wasted yards Purdue did that didn't really accomplish much, didn't really score many points, but 13 catches for Charlie Jones, 162 catches, didn't get in the end zone though, needed an AOC. He had 2 interceptions, both by Will Johnson. Let's fast forward to the TCU game. Now, their starting running back got hurt during the game. He came in a little hobbled, TCU's, and he got hurt. So if you're Michigan, you're thinking good, et cetera, et cetera. They've got a Heisman Trophy finalist quarterback. Their starting running back is out, Kendre Miller. But then you got Amari DeMercado. DeMercado, the backup running back. He dropped 150 on 117 carries, 8.8 yards per carry, 1 touchdown. Did we all forget that Michigan gave up 150 yards to the backup TCU running back? Right? This isn't Donovan Edwards. This is TCU's backup running back. Not to mention, first-round wide receiver Quentin Johnson. Maybe the play of the day, 3rd and 7. They went underneath to Quentin Johnson, just kind of going left to right to the top to the bottom of your screen, streaking across, caught the ball about 4 or 5 yards short of the first on 3rd and 7. Towards the start of the 10, 12 minutes left in the game, fourth quarter, Michigan down by less than the score, and DJ Turner missed the tackle. He took the wrong angle, he cut in, and Quentin Johnson cut outside. He went 70 yards, 69, 70 yards for the score, gave up 163 yards to really the guy outside of Max Duggan, the quarterback, Heisman finalist, that you absolutely had to stop. He made the play of the game. I hope, folks, that this TCU game is still on the minds of this defense, this defensive coaching staff, Jim Harbaugh, everybody in that building for Michigan, because we have seen with this program, Jim Harbaugh in particular, not maybe in the last 2 years, but where they have just gotten cocky and not prepared and kind of forgot about the past. And they took the TCU game a little too lightly. They thought they're going to play the Georgia-Ohio State winner. We don't have to prepare for this. This is TCU. This isn't Texas. This isn't Oklahoma. And Jack and I went to TCU Media Day at the College Football National Championship game 2 days before the game on Saturday morning. And I asked both players who had a pick six on JJ MCCarthy, well, how'd you know? How'd you get that play? Tell me about that play. It's like, they didn't do anything different. This is the same plays they ran all year. The second my guy lined up, wherever he lined up, I didn't really go back and watch the film. He's like, I knew where they were going to him, so I just literally waited for the quarterback to stop his feet, turn his shoulders. I broke on the ball. Both players independently basically said the same exact thing. I think we have those videos somewhere. We should put those up. I never did because we end up having the Desmond Howard interview, if you remember, Jack. So I think Michigan needs to have that on their mind. This defense, folks, it has the OSU blueprint. Michigan has figured out, with 2 different defensive coordinators, Mike McDonald and then now Jesse Minter, how to beat Ohio State, how to limit an Ohio State offense that just thrashed Michigan for years and years, especially under Don Brown in 2018, 2019. Didn't get a chance to give up 70 in 2020. They've got the OSU blueprint, but maybe that's why you've got beat Georgia period here. So I think it's the biggest storyline of this season. Can Michigan go to the college football playoff and play a team from another conference, a USC? Okay, maybe Oklahoma, maybe they'll come back here. Alabama, Georgia, Florida State, Clemson, one of these teams, LSU, and not give up 45 points, not give up 51, not be down 34-3 in the third quarter like they were to Georgia. Georgia could have scored 50 on them as well. That is the biggest story for me this season. But let's get into my fact or fiction. First question, fact or fiction? You guys can start answering in the live chat. Get it down in the comments. You can ask for any one of these. And we'll put them up at the end of the segment as well, so you can have all 5 and answer at once if you'd like. Edwards and Corum, Donovan Edwards, and Blake Corum both have 1,000 yards rushing. My thoughts? Well, they came pretty damn close last year. Now, I don't necessarily think that Michigan's going to, I don't want to say get lucky. It's lucky but unlucky, but both guys had their opportunity to shine as the starter. Hawaii game, Donovan Edwards gets hurt. He's out for 3 or 4 games. They go heavy on Corum. They're both playing against Penn State. We saw what happened there. Both had over 160 yards. I think 2 touchdowns for one touchdown for the other. They absolutely tore up Penn State. Then he had a couple injuries. Donovan Edwards is hurt, right? Second half versus Illinois, Michigan has no offense. They got to rely on Isaiah Gash. Then it's the Don with 500-plus yards in the last 3 games, 200 versus Ohio State, 150 or so Purdue, 125, et cetera, in against TCU. Donovan Edwards was 9 yards short of being a 1,000-yard back last year, not to mention the talent that he has coming back on offensive line and this Michigan football offense this year. So my fact or fiction on this, I say fact. Donovan Edwards and Blake Corum will both have over 1,000 yards in the 2023 Michigan football season. As you see on the screen there, 140 carries for the Don, 247 for Blake Corum. They've really got to reduce the amount of carries that Blake Corum has this year. He went a 5-6 game stretch there in the middle of the season, over 22, 23, up to 30, 31, 33 carries when the Don was hurt and Michigan really needed that running attack to take off. Donovan Edwards led college football with 7.1 yards per carry last year. I expect him to maybe come down a little bit more this year with a bigger workload and maybe not breaking off 75 and 85 yards every time he touches the ball like he did against Ohio State. But that is the stats. I expect them to both have a nice level up coming in to 2023. Will Michigan make the college football playoff? This isn't one of my fact or fictions. This is what I want to ask to the audience. So go ahead and answer down in the comments or in the live chat. I see you in the live chat, Mike K. We'll get to your question here in a second. Appreciate the $2 super chat. Let me know what you guys think. Will Michigan make the college football playoff for the third year in a row? Fun fact, I think this was known, but maybe not as talked about. The Big Ten East last year, Michigan, Ohio State, first division in college football to have two teams make the CFP in the same year. Clearly, Alabama's done it before. Alabama, Georgia, the SEC, but they're in different divisions. The Big Ten East, first division ever to have two teams in the CFP. Got a lot of yeses coming in there. Mike K also saying that JJ will have 3,000 yards passing, which I think is kind of like the minimum Michigan has to have to think, can this offense and this offensive philosophy game plan be strong enough and advanced enough to win a game against an Alabama, a Georgia, an LSU, hell, even a TCU. More Michigan football factor fiction with your host, James Yoder. I got Jack Latteray, a.k.a. Young Harbaugh, on the ones and twos on behind the production desk, getting things rolling for us. Next factor fiction. Will, it's tough to ask a question with his name, Jack, because his name is Will Johnson have 6 interceptions. So 6 interceptions this season for Michigan's AP second team All-American in the preseason, Will Johnson. He had 3 picks last year, and they all came towards the end of the year. Really, he became a starter after the Michigan State game. So starting in November, he got 3 games in November, 4 games, then the Big Ten championship game, then the game against TCU, which we was ultimately hurt. 2 tackles for loss, 27 tackles, 6 pass breakups. The 2 picks against Purdue maybe, showed what he can do when the ball comes towards him. DJ Turner on the opposite side, but he's been limited this entire offseason. He got hurt, and it was really underreported until he didn't show up at spring ball, Will Johnson, and he's sat out the last 2 padded scrimmages, right? August 12th, August 19th. What's going to happen this coming week? If he is not in the lineup with the ones on Monday, which I should get a report coming up Monday, Tuesday of this week on who was in the lineup, who maybe was still hampered, a lot of injuries on the wide receiver side of things. If he's not there, I think maybe Michigan could be doing some load management, potentially keep him out of the first 1, 2, 3 games. I'm not saying that's going to happen for sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if it did. The college football world gets going this weekend. As I mentioned, Notre Dame, USC, is a bunch of other games. Brady Hoke's coaching the game against Ohio. Maybe he'll get another win like he did back in 2011. BetUS is our preferred sportsbook partner. If you want to get going, bet some sports this year, make some money on Michigan football, go to chatsports.com/GoBlue. The link is down in the bottom of the screen. You see right there, chatsports.com/GoBlue. Type it into your browser. When you make your first deposit, use promo code GoBlue, no spaces, 125% deposit bonus. I got Jack in my ear saying, James, it's in the live chat. Don't forget to tell him about the jersey deal. Boom! Free jersey deal that's going to go on for the next few weeks. So you put $100 in, let's just say, or $200. You get your deposit bonus 125%. So put in $100, extra $125. Put in $200, extra $250. You make your first bet. So you use the promo code GoBlue. It's so vital that you use the promo code, go to the link, because if not, you won't show up in our report, and then it's just a customer service headache. Make your first bet. Email us, jersey@chatsports.com. If you can send us a screenshot of your bet, that kind of eliminates a step of verification. Once you do that, we'll get your size, we'll get your address, we'll ship one off to you. Come to us for the jersey. We're fulfilling them. We've got a big boatload of jerseys sitting back on Jack's desk, ready to ship out. Chatsports.com/GoBlue. Get started with BetUS. Put in at least $100, make your first bet, get a free Michigan football jersey, the #1 jersey here from Chat Sports. Got to be a new customer though, so if you've started with BetUS in the past, enjoy. You've got your winnings, from last year and your bonus last year. This is for new customers. Chatsports.com/GoBlue. Will teams even target Will Johnson, let alone if he's going to play early on? And if Michigan's blowing out a lot of teams, which they should in their first 8, 9, 10 games of the year, he might be sitting out in the second half a lot, given the stature of his talent, not wanting to risk injury. But will teams, what they saw against Purdue and Ohio State when he's on Marvin Harrison Jr. and TCU at times, will they even throw the ball at him? He could be, they say water covers 70% of the earth. Will Johnson covers the other 30%. I think the thing that's holding him back from having 6 interceptions this year, load management potentially, not playing a ton early on. But it could just be that nobody throws the ball at him because he's so damn good, and he might just intercept every single ball that's thrown at him. So Will Johnson have 6 interceptions? I'm saying fiction on this one. I don't think it's going to happen. It's not because of lack of talent. It's not because of scheme or anything like that. I just don't think that the other team is going to throw enough passes his direction for him to have 6 interceptions on this season. Next one up. Will this team score more than 566 points on offense? You might not know this, Jack. You might not know this, audience. 566 was the number that this team scored on offense last season, which was a program record. Now, this is only the second time in program history they've played 14 games. They had a little bit of a nudge up, but still as a points per game, I think it was second all time at 40.4 points per game regardless. So that is the question that I am going to dissect in a moment. But I want to remind you guys, next Saturday, 11:15 Eastern, the game is on the Peacock Network. Jack and I, Young Harbaugh, we will be live 11:15 Eastern on this YouTube channel. Camera on me. We're going to have the scoreboard, the stats, a very nice production. You're not going to see the actual highlights. We're not going to get a copyright infringement and get the channel shut down. But, it's going to be a very slanted, non-Michigan-focused broadcast. So mute the game. Make sure we're synced up. Watch us on your iPhone, iPad, computer. Have the game on your TV if you want. Or if you don't have Peacock and want to just have a nice kind of radio-style experience with me, with other graphics, that is the place. Next Saturday, September 2nd, 11:15, we will be live throughout the entire game. 45 minutes prior, the entire game. Really nice production. And then after the game, we will take your questions. I'll have my instant reactions and players of the game and all that stuff the moment that the game is over. That offense is pretty damn good last year, right? 459 yards per game. 40.4 points per game scored. 220 yards passing. And then what I think is the best rushing attack in college football, 239 yards per game. That was number 5 statistically for Michigan. Number 1 total points in program history last year. Will they beat that in 2023? I'm saying fact. I'm saying this is the best 2-year stretch of offense in program history. And you can go back and say 2003 with John Navarre coming back for senior year, and Braylon Edwards, and Chris Perry, who won the Doak Walker, and Braylon won the Biletnikoff the next year. You might even want to say 2006 or 2007 with Chad Henne, Jake Long, Mike Hart, Steve Breston in 06, and then Mario Manningham, Adrian Arrington taking the reins in 2007. As more talented offenses, more stars, maybe more firepower at the offensive, at the wide receiver position. But I think this offensive line is better than any of those. I think JJ McCarthy is going to prove out to be a better quarterback than Navarre or Chad Henne. And I certainly think that the running back combo of Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards is the best that Michigan's seen in modern football era. If we just talk about the last 35, 40 years, you might go back and say Tumunga, Biaka Batuka, and Tyrone Wheatley in 94. You can make a good argument with that. But I'm saying fact, this team will get done. I'm calling for 600 points or more from this offense. Will the Wolverines' offensive line win a third straight Joe Moore Award? People didn't think they're going to win it last year because, you don't give these awards away to the same player or the same team too often. Like, when's the last time someone won, AP Coach of the Year back-to-back years? I don't think it's ever happened. When's the time someone's won the Biletnikoff, the Doak Walker? Well, very rarely, if ever, that's happened in college football. So Michigan winning the Joe Moore Award for the second straight year was a big deal. With this depth chart, right, I think that Michigan can realistically say they've got 8 guys that could start for almost any team at some position in college football. That's the 5 stars at the top: Ladarius Henderson, Trevor Keegan, Drake Nugent, Zach Sinter, and Carson Barnhart. But I also think Miles Hinton, he started for Stanford last year. Giovanni El-Hadi, he was started for Michigan at stretches last year. And then I think Trente Jones was also a starter for Michigan right off the start of the season last year. Now, I think he struggled at times, and that's why he lost his spot after injury. But Michigan's got at least 8 guys that could start for almost any college, if not every college football team in the program. But let's not forget that these new guys, the 3 new guys in particular, Miles Hinton, Drake Nugent, they didn't play in the spring game, right? They were limited by injuries. They were at Michigan, but didn't play. They were participants in spring, but either got injured or were held out of the spring game, weren't running with the ones then. And we know Miles Hinton's not really going to be running with the ones. He's probably Michigan's 6th or 7th lineman at this time. But then Ladarius Henderson, he had to finish school at Arizona State to graduate to be able to transfer a second time. He's already transferred once, I believe, after his freshman year, looking back. But he's only been on campus with Michigan for about 2.5 months since second week of June. So that is something that holds me back from thinking instantly that this offensive line is just going to be better than the group that won the Joe Moore Award the last 2 years. So a third straight Joe Moore Award for this Michigan football team. Based on those factors, I'm going to say fiction. One note, if you saw our show on Tuesday, a lot of chatter, even more deafening chatter, and if we get it definitive next week when they're in the ones, we'll change that offensive depth chart, that Carson Barnhart may have played so well that he is in the more desired tackle position. He's moved to left tackle. Ladarius Henderson, he might be over there at right tackle. Let me know if you guys think Ohio State will be taken to the woodshed by Michigan again. Will Michigan beat Ohio State again? Fact or fiction, Michigan will beat Ohio State again. That's the question. I should phrase it properly. Michigan will beat Ohio State again. Fact or fiction? Before I give you my analysis, let's make sure we don't forget what got us here. January 2020, I was so fed up with the loss to Alabama. Prior to that, I lost to Florida in the bowl games 2 years in a row. 2 straight blowout losses to Ohio State, giving up 62 and 56 points. We came up with this slogan in 2020, a presidential election year. Not getting political here, but may beat Ohio State again. Make America great. It's a little kind of thing like that. This one's been a lot more successful than the other one. Bosa, Ohio State has not beat Michigan since this slogan came out in January of 2020, and I don't think it's going to happen again because, fact or fiction, there's no answer. The only answer is Bosa. I think Michigan's going to get the win this year against Ohio State again. And look, Ohio State is more talented than Michigan is at the top level talent. I think Michigan's deeper, but Ohio State has 2 potential first-round guys on the outside in their defense. They've got maybe 3 or 4 potential first-round, even 2 top 10 picks at wide receiver. We'll see what happens to the quarterback position. I think they're going to be fine there regardless. They've got 2 first-round guys, maybe this next draft, and their offensive line. Michigan's got a lot of that too, okay? But Ohio State, Travion Henderson, didn't even mention him, etc. Could be a first-round running back. I've seen mock drafts with 8 different Ohio State players for next year's draft. So Ohio State has the higher top-end talent. Michigan's got their number. They've got them going on up here. The game is in Ann Arbor. Michigan's returning a starting quarterback, and they have the blueprint to beat Ohio State again. So fact or fiction on that one, I'm just going Bosa. Let's recap here. If you guys want, you can just if you're in the comments on the on-demand video, just give me number 1 and give me your answers. I'll be in there replying to you when this goes out on demand. So let me know what you guys think on those 5 questions. It's 2,000-yard running backs. I say fact. 6 interceptions for Will Johnson. I'm saying fiction. 566 points or more, school record. Fact, 3rd straight Joe Moore award. I'm going to go fiction on that one. And then beat Ohio State again. I'm just going Bosa. Give me your answers on all 5 of those comments. Let me know what you guys think on the 2023 Michigan football team, fact or fiction. First segment in the books. We are the Michigan Football Report. I'm your host, James Yoder. I've got young Harbaugh, Jack Latteray. Jack, I think we had a super chat, maybe 1, maybe 2 come in while we had. Oh, we owe a wheel spin, Jack says, as well. So let's get those out of the way, guys. We're going to take your questions here in a minute. So super chat or use hashtag Michigan. We'll put questions. If you have questions on the team, we'll get those on the cut. They'll go on the channel. If they're questions just more based on live, we'll answer them right now. Shane Johnson, my guy, he's Miami Shane, Jack. If you go to Miami, you want to live the big life, go hang out with Shane. He sent me pictures of his pad, his high rise, quite the view of the ocean. I'm guessing it's got to be the Atlantic Ocean, right? Where Miami is. King, where you at? East Carolina, Bowling Green, Ohio game. I'm at the big house. Let's frickin' go. Gosh, I want to be there with you for one of them, Shane. I really do. I will for sure be whatever game Michigan's in the postseason. They make the college football playoff. If it's in New Orleans or Pasadena, last 2 years I said, you know what, I'm going to save myself for the national title game, right? And last year I went to it. Even though Michigan lost to TCU, I was that confident. I booked everything in advance, still went out there for that game. Jack and I, for most of those games, though, we will be live on this camera. So if you want to pull that up at any point, Jack, reminder, live, at least the East Carolina game, we will be live here on the channel. To my guy, Shane Johnson. Shane, if you go, maybe you want to go to the Minnesota game. I'm pretty sure I'm 90% going to Minnesota as of right now. But other than that, plans really kind of dictate on how things go on the shows. If these watch parties are successful, I might just be having my happy rear end here on camera for every single game. Appreciate you, Shane. You are the man. You are one of our executive producers of the show. Watch the end screen on our last 5-6 videos. Shane Johnson, one of our top 10 contributors from the 2022 season. Why do we struggle with bowl games? I wish I knew, Jack. I wish I knew the answer to this question, because we're going to talk about it. I think we talk about it later on in the show, right? We have some stuff on the bowl games in particular. But Jim Harbaugh himself has overseen some mind-numbing performances in bowl games. If you just think back, right? Michigan lost 2 of their last 3 regular season games in 2016, and then they go up against Florida State. There were so many opportunities to win that game, and every opportunity they had, they just made a mistake. Gave up a long touchdown run to Dalvin Cook, made a mistake on offense, a turnover. It was so mind-numbing in 2016 season. In 2017, You're going to blow out South Carolina, but somehow you're down like 19-3 at halftime. You lose to South Carolina. It was absolutely embarrassing. 2018, Michigan thought they were going to the CFP. They don't even try. They don't even show up, right, against Florida. Like, what, Karan Higdon didn't even play in the game. He's saving himself for the NFL. Sorry, Karan, but how'd that go? And then in 2019, they were outmatched by Alabama. Okay, I'll give them that one. 2021, Georgia, give them that one as well. But last year, TCU, it's been frustrating. Jim Harbaugh, Michigan, 6 straight bowl losses after a blowout, like 41-7 win in his first season against Florida. Super chat from Jacksonville, Zoe, my guy, my man. He says Yoder needs to have a tent in Houston so we have a place to get down there before the game. Jack, I don't think that's not inconceivable, right? Like we had a bunch of stuff going on last year. We had a big setup inside the media hotel for TCU Georgia, but we were everywhere last year, and it was so poorly set up, right? It's no one's fault, but like the stadium wasn't anywhere close to the media stuff, right? It was 40 minutes away from the stadium, 10 minutes the other direction of the hotel. I don't know what your thoughts on it were, Jack. I think it's pretty brutal.
It was definitely a cool experience to be there, but it felt very secluded, if that makes sense. Because, like, if the setup would have been, I don't know, maybe at the convention center closer to the stadium, you might have felt more like you were in it.
Yeah.
But we kind of, it felt a little secluded, just kind of away from everything.
Oh, we got a $20 super chat. Jacksonville, answering your question as I'm putting a sticker on the helmet right now. Jacksonville, Zoe, let me get him on there. Boom, you were on there. Wrong way. Jacksonville, Zoe, appreciate you, my man. You are a leader and a producer of the show, and you're one of our big leaders on this 2023 season so far. Before we go to Matt Shook, I'll just go to that one. I'm not sure the setup will be for Houston, but if when Michigan's in the national championship, I will guarantee we will do a live show, and Jack and I will buy all the beers for anybody who wants to come by. I'm not sure if it would be a bar, tailgates. Just have to see how the setup goes from somewhere. So we'll do a live show either on game day or the day before, and for sure, after the game, wherever the party's going. Jack, we're not coming home, and we're not, it's a 3-hour drive away. We're probably going to party all night in Houston, and you know what happens in Houston. You've heard about the rappers and NBA players. Some crazy stuff goes on there. We might just end up in Mexico when Michigan wins the national title. We might.
I'll let Brett know I'm not going to be in on Sunday. Like, we're partying till the cows come home.
Till the cows come home. That's what Jack says. Next, super chat in $20 from Matt Shook. Matt, appreciate it. He didn't put a comment there, but I'm going to give him, make sure we do that, or he just wants to do the wheel spin. Is that what the 20 is? Okay, we'll do a wheel spin. So we got two wheel spins. Matt, you're getting 2 stickers. I'm going to put that on right now while Jack is spinning this wheel.
All right, here we go, folks. We got some new ones this week. Very exciting. We got another 10 from Cody Monford, which we'll get to in a second, but we're going to do these 2 wheel spins real quick. Let's see what we got here. Oh, we got another 20 from Andrew, so we're going to have another wheel spin.
There we go.
It is 5 jumping jacks.
All
so
right.
I got to do the jumping jacks.
Jack, we're doing the jumping jacks. You're going to come over here and do them? All right, cool. So bring me full screen. I'll show Matt Shook. You got one on there, Matt, as I come on screen. Whoop, there we go. Matt Shook, you are right there. You're on the helmet. I'm almost filled this bad boy up. Jack, Lauderay, Young Harbaugh, 5 jumping jacks. Let's see it, Jack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go. Oh, 6, 7, 8. There he goes. A Georgia producer, a Georgia show, he would have done 5, Jack, and walked away. Jack does 8 because we don't wait. Whatever they do, we're doing more, okay? That's how it goes. Cody Mountford, $10 super chat. We will get him on there. And Andrew, I see you on there, my man. First time super chatter. Jack, well, I'm going to get Cody's on here. Why don't you read it off for me while I get his sticker.
Yep. James, this should be the best Michigan team I've seen in 30 years of life. However, we won't win a natty if JJ doesn't get more consistent on the deep ball and a wide receiver doesn't step up. But JJ is key.
Jack, do we have Cody Mountford, the wide receiver leaders graphic? There you are on the helmet, Cody. Cody's a producer. He was on here last year. He was on a bunch of helmets, and he was on our end screen. Take a look at every video we put out last week. Cody, you are on the end screen. I mean, this is the receivers that Michigan has coming back. All right, these are the leaders. And Donovan Edwards is up there. I think he actually had more catches than Colson Loveland. He might have had 18 catches, but less yards for Michigan last year. It seems, that's okay, 500 yards, 6 touchdowns, 3 7. But these are your starters, and the only guy you're really missing from this group is Ronnie Bell. And we know, Eric All transferred to Iowa and the like. But these are your returning starting wide receivers. There is not a third wide receiver that has done anything at this program yet so far. And that's probably the biggest question. So Donovan Edwards is at slot receiver in some regard, right? Will he be there lining up there a lot? It will be decoys. Most times him and Blake Corum in the backfield. I'm not sure yet. I don't think really anybody knows. I don't even think Jim Harbaugh knows, so he sees how it goes. But you've nailed it right in the head there, Cody. Can Michigan beat Georgia, beat Alabama, beat Ohio State again, LSU, whoever they might face in the semifinals, USC, or the national championship game? I think the answer is absolutely yes. If, the big if, the defense can do it, I think to win these college football playoff games, I really think you've got to see a $20 super chat coming from Bill Graves and another one from Jim Kalich. Thank you so much. And let's make sure we take Cody's questions coming up in a couple of these ones on the mailbag when we have the opportunity. We can splice them in when you find fit. If you look at the history of the college football playoff, going back the last 4, 5, 6 years, I think the first couple of years are a little bit of an outlier. College football really has changed since like 2017, 2018. You have to have a quarterback who can win you ball games. Georgia could be the outlier, but still, Stetson Bennett, he was a Heisman finalist. He could throw the ball around. He could make plays. I mean, that national championship game, they were making plays through the air early on, and he wasn't Trevor Lawrence by any means, but you go back, Tua, Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, even just Ohio State to get to the national championship game, the one year that they did in 2020, they did have Justin Fields, a super 5-star who came in 2019 and had 40 touchdown passes and like 4 interceptions. Came back in 2020 in like 5 or 6 games, still was putting up ridiculous numbers. That's what it takes to get to the national championship game. That's what Michigan needs. I'm not necessarily as worried about the wide receivers because I think it's all going to come down to can JJ put the ball where the wide receiver can catch it, and some of these younger guys, they'll be able to get open. Can the ball be put there when the plays need to be made? And you never know. Those plays could just come down to it is January 1st in Pasadena is the first time Michigan could get truly challenged all year. I know we've got Penn State, Michigan State, Ohio State, of course, Minnesota, but that could come down. They could really have a season where they blow everybody out. And will JJ McCarthy be able to do it? I think he's made a lot of strides, a lot of good stuff coming out of it, but he certainly didn't do it last year against TCU in the first half. Andrew Latouf, first timer, so let's get him and we got a super chat coming in from Andrew. Hail to Andrew Latouf, the leader of the super chat. Hail to Andrew. Hail to Andrew. Hail to Andrew. He's a first-time super chatter. Go Blue. All right, Andrew. 2 for Andrew. Stickers. Appreciate you, my man. Go Blue, he says. And does that mean we're doing a wheel spin, Jack? How many wheel spins do we own?
We have
Andrew,
3 wheel spins.
Okay.
We have one from Matt. So we did the one already for we did the one already for Jim.
Yep.
We've got one for Matt, one for Andrew, and one for Bill Graves, which we're going to get to his super chat in a second. But
Bill Graves, my man. Andrew, I'm putting you on there front and center on that helmet, my man. You're right there. Let's do the super chat wheel. Appreciate the super chat very much. We will super chat this bad boy. Where we go. What does it land on, Jack?
Yodeling Yoder.
Yodeling Yoder. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, there we go. Another one, Jack. Let's do one more while we're on there. $2 take Jim's question. Does Michigan have a first rounder at wide receiver on this roster? I don't think so, honestly. I do believe that Michigan's downfield passing game will improve this year. I certainly think that Cornelius Johnson gained a lot of confidence against Ohio State. I think Roman Wilson gained a lot of confidence against TCU in the second half, both receiving and going on reverses. And I think that's going to help Michigan immensely. Also, Edwards and Corum being out in the spring help Michigan focus on developing that downfield passing game. I think we're going to see it pay off if Michigan is committed to the playbook that's required to score points through the passing game. I think at times last year they get inside the 25. They went to the ground game only, and certainly worked when Blake Corum was in there. But when he got hurt, Michigan really had to revamp their offense inside the 20, 25, 30, and probably cost them a shot at a national championship. Sing the fight song. All right, we kind of did. Let's go, Jack. I think so. Jack, he's young Harbaugh, but I think before the season starts, Jack, you gotta make sure you can memorize the fight song. All right. Hail to the victors, valiant. Hail to the conquering heroes. Hail, hail to Michigan, the leaders and best. Hail to the victors, valiant. Hail to the conquering heroes. Hail, hail to Michigan, the champions of the West. Go Blue. There we go. Young Harbaugh with me on that one. We win the Natty 24-hour live show. I'm down. National Championship 24-hour live show from Cody. Let's take this question from Bill Graves, and we'll get that one from Cody. Do you think Loveland will be the key to helping the wide receivers find more space along with the threat of Edwards? Jack, we've got that the piece on Loveland. We can put that up. I can talk about it for a second on Colson Loveland. Thank you. Bill Graves, a 20 super chat, so I got to get him one, and we owe him a spin too. So let me get Bill. You can get 2 stickers. I'll get one right now, and then we'll get one later in the show, so we don't bore everybody with my writing ability. So Colson Loveland. When I put on my depth chart last week, Colson Loveland was running with the 1Bs, but he was a step behind A.J. Barner for the first 2 weeks of camp. But last week, into the scrimmage on Saturday, August 19th, Colson Loveland has really emerged. And I was told by somebody who observed Saturday's padded scrimmage that he is just JJ McCarthy's main target inside the 20. If Michigan's outside there, the 30, 35, 40, they want to go deep. Sometimes it's Colson Loveland, but a lot of times it's going to be, of course, the Michigan wide receivers, Cornelius Johnson, Roman Wilson. Now, those wide receivers didn't participate in this last scrimmage, so maybe that's just a best availability for Colson Loveland. But last 2 scrimmages, the padded scrimmages, Colson Loveland's really emerged. This past one, he was the go-to guy. Was told if he plays like this and JJ trusts him and he trusts JJ inside the 20 this season, he's going to have 8, 9 touchdowns. So I think it's a big deal. What's going to come down to? Michigan has the playmakers, right? You can put 5 skill position players, Corum, Edwards, whether one's in running back, whether both in the backfield, out wide, Colson Loveland or A.J. Barner, and then Roman Wilson and Cornelius Johnson. You can put 5 guys out there, right? 5 of those 6 out there, and you could be up there with the best skill position groups in all of college football. It all depends on what routes they go into, and does J.J. McCarthy have the I guess the guts and the desire to put the ball where it needs to be, where last year, I think sometimes the Michigan offense limited him. They said, okay, go to that guy who's not open, check down, or run. I hope they give him more 3-4 reads like they haven't necessarily in the past. $20 from Brad coming in. Roll that wheel, Jack. We know a few wheel spins. Really appreciate you, Brad. You are a producer of the show. You are our executive producer. You were on the hats multiple times. Let's see what it is. Go blue. So what are we going to ask? The people to spam go blue? So if everyone can, type go blue. We hit the wheel. We got a $20 super chat from Brad and Dominic Franchillo. I haven't seen him in a little bit. A $5 super chat. Brad gave a $20 super chat. We did this. So everyone, type go blue. When I see the entire screen, when I see about 25 comments are on the live chat when I look at it on my computer screen here. Once the entire thing is filled up with go blues, we will continue. But prior to that, I'm going to get Brad's sticker. Did I miss anybody? So Cody, we make sure we get his question at some point, and then Brad is going on there. Make sure I spell it Bootgerite.
Everyone spam go blue for the next 30 seconds, and I'll do some shout-outs while James is getting these stickers on the helmet. Netmeg, Scotty, Brad, type in go blue. Let's go. Get those go blues in the chat. Andrew with a go blue. Get them on. Get them in. Andrew's spamming it. There's Mark. Get those go blues in the chat. Eric. Nice.
All right, I got the entire screen except for Mark's up there, but we saw ones before him, so now the entire thing is go blue. There you go. Appreciate that. Brad, got your sticker on there. You're getting another sticker after the show, so you got 2 on there. We've got almost 4 full helmets now, so we've got the first 4 games of the year. We're going to send them out there. Jack, who is the leaderboard? I don't know. I'm sure you don't have an update yet, but do you have any idea who? You can just tell me who the leaderboard. We can come back to it in a second. Appreciate all the go blues. Let's toss those last 2 questions up there. I think we had one from Cody, the 2, and then Dominic. Got quite a few. Matt, another 10 from Matt. So we owe 3, Matt. Matt, we got 3. I got yours on the helmet, Matt. You're right there. Appreciate you. Oh, no, that was not Matt. That was another Matt. Okay. Cody, we're going to come back to your question here. We're going to start our mailbag Q&A here in just a moment. A 10. So, Cody, we got 2 questions coming from you in the super chat, but I want to make sure I get your 10 on the helmet. So, Cody has got a 10 and 2. Cody, you're going to go on the mailbag, which we're going to start here in about 1 minute. That'll go up on the channel on, I think, what we say, Friday, right? All right, so he says, we win the Natty, do a 24-hour live stream. I'm down, Jack. I really am down. Now, I don't think instantly, but let's just say the game was on Monday night, 24-hour live stream on Wednesday. Get back here on Tuesday, 24-hour live stream. unless we can somehow go live, there's Wi-Fi in the stadium on the phone, and then just have one of those little phone holders and just follow me around for an hour. Me and Jack, we may do that. Brad, my guy, one of the producers. Can we do this, Jack? Since we have a lot of super chats, make sure people know. Got the helmet. They're on there. Roll the producer's credits. If you guys have not seen this, this is going at the end of every single video. I'll answer Brad questions here. Go Blue, Bosa. Do you think the offensive line will have 5 guys drafted this year? Yes, 100% I do. But, it could be, depending if someone goes pro, right? It could be Miles Hinton, get enough playing time, get projected. Michigan could have 6 guys drafted. Trente Jones, he could go. He could have 7. But I doubt that happens. I bet 1 or 2 of them stay to get a starting spot next year. But I think 5 is the absolute number that Michigan will have drafted. I don't think there's ever been a college football team that has all 5 starters drafted in that next draft in the history of college football. Check out our producers and screen video. Jack, show the super chat menu before we start there, just so everybody can have there. We'll have the super leaderboard tabulated up. I think Matt Shook might be our leaderboard right now. Matt, if you're the leader, we'll have that there. Whoever's MVP of this live show, we're going to send you a Don t-shirt. So, Matt, make sure you follow me on social media. Either DM me on Twitter or Instagram to get your information. Let me send this message. Okay. Jim just took the lead. All right, Jim, what he did, just toss one in. Jim with the tenner, my guy. Jim, what did he say? Let's get some drinking on that wheel spin. Jack, why don't we do this really quick? Leave it on. Go to Dominic's question really quick. If you could give me a refill here and grab a Coors, because we've kind of hit a higher number than expected. We'll take a beer down for Jim being our leader so far. So you grab a Coors and a water fill. That would be expected. Jack's gonna go pop off into the kitchen. There we go. Water in that one, appreciate it. The staff's coming, the people were on. I said, guys, can somebody give me a water refill? Dominic Franchillo. Dominic, if you saw your name there, you were on the end screen. Go Blue. 850 national championship, easy money, plus 850. So, look, you do that on BetUS, our sportsbook partner. You put 100 down. Michigan wins the national title, 850. Now, I've seen Michigan with worse odds and thought they maybe had a good chance before. 2006, I was in Vegas that summer. I put like 100 on Michigan at plus, I think it was plus 22 or 2,500 is what it was. Yeah, it was just 25 to 1. I was going to win $2,500, yeah, on a $100 bet. So Michigan clearly a bigger, favorite to win this year than they were back in 2006. But I think it's pretty decent money, right? Risk 100, you can do there. Appreciate the $5 from Dominic Franchillo, one of our guys. Marshall Green, Marshall, we're going to talk about you in a show coming up because Marshall's our host of Giants Today, and he's Giants Now. Sorry. He said that the New York Giants were the real blue. Yeah, blue. So he's like, big blue, go blue. That's the Giants. So we're gonna have to do something for Marshall. Tell him what we think of the New York Giants. So I will do this to get the show started, to get us feeling good as we're coming up on 5 o'clock Central, 6 Eastern. 5 o'clock somewhere. I'm just gonna chug this entire Coors Light.
Everyone type chug in the chat. Let's go. Everybody type chug in the chat. Oh, my Lord. Here's our super chat menu as James just took that down. Light work. Absolute light work. Jim, if that ain't what you want, I don't know what you're doing.
Jim, I got you covered. Thank you for the super chats. You are a leader to get the
Jim is our leader.
To get the Don t-shirt. So whoever who's the MVP, the most super chats, dollars today, I'm going to get your information at the end of the show. You don't have to watch the entire time. I mean, if you got to do something, I will announce it on the YouTube community channel if we don't hear from the winner. But we'll definitely let you guys know who is the super chat MVP so we can get you your The Don t-shirt. But use hashtag Michigan. We're going to take your questions live for about the next 12 or so minutes. And then I've still got Michigan football burning questions and then another mailbag to get into. So let's get this bad boy rolling. Use hashtag Michigan or super chat. We're going to take about 15 minutes of your questions starting right now. It's 2023. The University of Michigan football team is ranked number 2 in the country. They're back-to-back Big Ten champions. They've got more money than U.S. Steel. They just put in massive new scoreboards with great video screens at Michigan Stadium. But Michigan still does not have Wi-Fi. The Michigan Football Report is presented by Manscaped. Get free shipping and 20% off your purchase, the best male grooming products in the game. We'll go back to that Wi-Fi photo, Jack. Here, give you my thoughts on the Michigan Football Stadium Wi-Fi situation. But I want to remind you guys, we are presented by Manscaped. I use Manscaped. Check out this beard. You see that? You see how good I'm looking there? That is with the Manscaped new beard hedger. I absolutely love it. Manscaped.com. Down in the comments description of today's video. We'll put it in the live chat as well. Get going with Manscaped. Get 20% off. Use promo code GOBLUE at manscaped.com. Hey, Michigan, it's 2023. You've had back-to-back Big Ten championships. You beat Ohio State again 2 straight years, okay? You've got one of the highest profile coaches in all of college football. You're ranked number 2 in the polls. You're Big Ten favorites. You just spent millions on new scoreboards and new video screens. You got the biggest stadium in America, 114,000, 115,000 strong for the biggest games. You got 8 home games this year. It's 2023. I want to emphasize it again. It is 2023, and you cannot get Wi-Fi in Michigan Stadium. You can't even, maybe that's not the problem as much, as you can't get cell signal with any single carrier. AT&T, Verizon, Mint Mobile, T-Mobile, Sprint, Western Wireless, Cellular Central of America, whatever it is, you can't get a signal in there, but it's not just the stadium. I learned this the hard way last year. The Hawaii game night game was delayed about 90 minutes. I was supposed to meet up with one of our viewers, actually. He's going to go to his house, have some beers while we had a night game delay with rain. I couldn't check my phone to get the damn address. And then I got it. My maps weren't working. I couldn't get signal at all. Then you get in the stadium. You don't know what's going on in the world, okay? You're in a 4-hour polar vortex. I know some of you guys are saying, oh, we should be paying attention to the game. That's great. I want to pay attention to the game, and I do, and I would, but Michigan doesn't give any information. If I'm at a Michigan football game as a fan and a player, let's say Blake Corum is not in the game for a couple series, I want to know why at the game. And they can't do that at the game. They're never going to announce it over the stadium. So how are you going to find out what's going on? You're making the viewing experience worse. Not to mention, I might want to text my friends, did you see that touchdown? I might want to be on social media. I might have a conversation. This is unacceptable at this point. I talked to some people, Stanford, Florida, Nebraska, Wisconsin, Ohio State. All these stadiums have Wi-Fi. It works. Dallas Cowboys Stadium, right? You go to that stadium. You can use Wi-Fi. It works. It's $8 million a school paid a couple years ago, blanket their entire stadium in Wi-Fi. It was so bad last year, before the Hawaii game, Michigan said, or before the season opener, Michigan said, hey, we've gone ticketless this year. Just use your phone to get into the game. They had to send an email before the second game, the night game against Hawaii. Please don't rely on cell signal or stadium Wi-Fi to get your tickets. Make sure you've got your tickets downloaded and screenshotted and stored in your phone before you enter Ann Arbor, because it's a cellular vortex around there. You could go right now to a hostel in Ukraine, spend the night, you get better cell coverage, better Wi-Fi than you can at Michigan Stadium. It's an absolute abomination. I can't stand it. I'm sick of it. It's making me not want to go to games. I want to take photos. I want to talk to people. I want to be in my Michigan football group chat. I want to be on Twitter to know what people are seeing on TV. And Michigan, the leaders and best, get some damn Wi-Fi. This is the third time I've put this message out. I think fourth time. I think I did in 2022, although I couldn't track that one down. Absolutely unacceptable. If you're with me on this battle for the 5th season, right? We didn't do it in 2020 because no fans. Comment Wi-Fi. If Michigan doesn't have Wi-Fi soon, I'm telling you, I'm going to lose my mind, Jack. I might be already lose my mind. I'm going to go to the stadium. I'm going to cause an uproar. I'm going to chain myself to Santa Ono's desk. I'm going to do something crazy. Comment Wi-Fi if you're with me and you think it's unacceptable that the leaders and best, the biggest stadium in college football, the team that's got the most wins, going up 1,000 wins, does not yet have damn Wi-Fi. Hell, just toss a cell on wheels truck out there so get some cell service if you don't do Wi-Fi. Do something. I'm sick of it. It's absolutely unacceptable. If you want to watch my 2019 and 2020 rants, watch the end of this video. If you're watching live, we won't put it and bore you. But if you're watching on demand, we're going to put this up over the weekend. Go ahead and scroll to the end of the video if you want at some point. You can watch the 2-minute rant, 3-minute rant from 2019, and about the 1.5-minute rant from 2021 on Michigan Stadium Wi-Fi. All right, before we take your questions, I want to ask you this Michigan football, college football trivia question. What are the 5 schools that have a U.S. president, right? Graduated, became U.S. president, and a Super Bowl winning quarterback, the 5 American schools that have produced a U.S. president and a Super Bowl winning quarterback. I'll give you that answer in a little bit. Let's see if you can answer it first in the comments or in the live chat. Give me those 5 schools. Coming from our Facebook page, Eric Sloan, he has a question. Which player is going to have the biggest impact or influence on the offense and defense to see just how far this team can go? He gives me a Go Blue, a Bosa, and a Yoder. Appreciate that question, Eric. I might answer that question in the second. We got some breaking news in my ear, and that's from Manscaped. Today's presenting sponsor, Manscaped, has launched a beard hedger. All bearded gentlemen out there, Manscaped has launched a beard hedger, and I absolutely love it. Manscaped's beard grooming kit. Are you tired of using multiple products to maintain your beard? Look no further than the luxury Beard Hedger Pro Kit from Manscaped. This complete beard maintenance kit has everything you need for the modern man on the go. From trimming to treatment, this kit has it all. It's got the beard hedger, the AC adapter, the USB-C cable, beard shampoo, conditioner, oil, balm, and a travel bag. Plus, as a special bonus, you receive a free beard accessory pack with a beard brush, comb, and beard scissors. It was designed with a unique cutting angle to have its built-in comb lift flat-lying hairs for a smooth single stroke. For a limited time, you can get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com with promo code GoBlue. That's manscaped.com. Use promo code GoBlue, 20% off and free shipping on any of their amazing products. This is the one that I'm using all the time. I absolutely love it. The Beard Hedger Pro Kit. Get it today. Take your beard game to the next level. If you're watching live, it's in the comments in the live chat, or it's down in the comments and the description of today's video. Back to my guy, Eric, from our Facebook page. Head over there, facebook.com/HarbaughGoBlue. 70,000 followers strong that we've built up on our Facebook page. Who's a player who can have impact influence on offense and defense? I got 2 in mind, right, at the top of my head that I think can make a difference. One, Roman Wilson. If you look back last year, and I think a lot of people who are more analytical when it gets to the nitty-gritty, they appreciate, we do a segment every week, Wednesday, Thursday, just showing you the snap counts, what players played, how many snaps on offense and defense. And I was surprised, like the first 10 games of the year last year, Andrew Anthony, who was a deep second stringer, was taking more snaps than starting wide receiver, slot wide receiver Roman Wilson, right? They'd only put Roman in for like 25, 24, 31 snaps a game. And he wasn't getting enough action, I didn't think, in this offense. He'd always be the first wide receiver out, that 3 wide receiver set. If they went down to 2, Cornelius Johnson and Ronnie Bell would stay in the game. I think if Michigan could develop a downfield passing game like we saw in the TCU game and allow him to make an impact on special teams, make an impact on bringing the end arounds and the reverses, Roman Wilson can make a big impact on offense. He could be the difference in a national championship team. Also on the other side, defense, how about Derek Moore? I don't have him as a starter yet, but he reminds me of like a Josh Uche or David Ojabo. Will he get there? Will he develop? Is he mature enough in his second year in this program? If it's not this year, I think he's the guy next year. I've got him back up right now, but I do think on the defensive end position, Michigan's going to rotate 4 guys: Jalen Harrell, Derek Moore, and Josiah Stewart. And who am I missing? What's his name? We know his name on defensive end. So 4 kind of starters. Derek Moore, if he can create that massive pass rush like David Ojabo, Aiden Hutchinson, I think Michigan could be national champions. Fred Fields coming in with the next question. He says, how many times will Diamond touch the ball every game? Whoa, what did I do there? I just messed up. The only question, it's the only question I have. Okay, good question, Fred. I was reading from my doc. It's on the screen right there as too. I think this year could be the year of the Don for Michigan and in college football. I stayed up last night, Jack, on Tuesday night. I watched all 4 episodes of Swamp Kings. Turned it on at like 10 o'clock. I stayed up till almost 2 in the morning. I was like, I'm just going to watch it. Percy Harvin got me excited about Donovan Edwards, okay? Tim Tebow got me excited about JJ MCCarthy. And I think if Michigan uses Donovan Edwards, he could be like a Percy Harvin of Florida or a Reggie Bush, although Bush became more of a true running back in his final season. But I think Donovan Edwards must get starter level snap count, 12-plus carries, 3 to 6 targets through the air in this 2023 season. His stats last year, only 200 yards through the air. He had 175, if you guys remember, in one game as a true freshman against Maryland. So I think those yards, those receiving yards, they should be up there 600, 700, 800 yards a game. I think there's a chance, a very long chance, but a chance he could be a 1,000 college football player receiving and rushing. Although I don't think that's likely, but if he were to be the prime focus, there's no doubt in my mind that Donovan Edwards can break off multiple 200 yards receiving game, right? He did 175 as a true freshman. right? Just Michigan makes that a big part of the game. He comes out of the backfield, takes one for 75 yards, takes one for 60 yards. Boom, right there, you're at 130 in a single game. This could be the year, Don. My only concern with Michigan now, can they use the talent at their disposal the right way to put up the right amount of points and be prepared against the right teams? LSU, Alabama, Georgia, Florida State, Clemson, Ohio State. I don't think they're going to need to do all that to win the first 8, 10, 9 games of the year. Maybe Penn State on the road could be a challenge. NC Castle from our Facebook says, obviously we are loaded on both sides of the ball this year. However, what is the biggest concern for Michigan football this year? Everyone is talking about all the strengths, but what about the weaknesses? And what are we not talking about and could be overlooking? Let me get back to that question in a second, but I want to ask you this one. Will Michigan win over 10.5 games this year? Regular season games, 12 games. Let me know what you guys think. That is the Vegas line right now on over-under win totals. It's up there with Georgia. I think Georgia might actually be 11, which means to win it, you got to have an undefeated season. Or if they win 11, you will push bet. You'll get your buddy back. Let me know what you guys think. Just type over or under in the comments or the live chat. I think it's an over. Right? I don't see Michigan losing 2 games, but we go back to seasons like 19, or I guess 99, not really, but 2005, 2007, some other seasons out there, 2019 maybe, that Michigan was ranked very high and had underwhelming seasons. All right, back to this question. There are some concerns about this team. Michigan as a program, what are the things that we're not talking about but that we'll be overlooking? This is my biggest concern. Is that Michigan's proven they can win the Big Ten. After a disastrous 2-4 season in 2020, they're the only team in college football history to have a 10-win improvement in a season, right? Went from 2 wins in 2020 to 12 in 2021, beat Ohio State. The concern is, can they win a playoff game? I just don't know what to say about the postseason performance from Jim Harbaugh. Does that layoff take him out of his element? I don't know. I can't explain it. The TCU game was just inexplicable. How do you have such a dominant offense all year? How do you out talent TCU at almost every single position? You give up 51 points. You're down 18 points in the second half multiple times. You give up crucial, long, 60, 70-yard touchdowns at the most critical points of the game when you had all the momentum. You throw multiple pick sixes. This team just didn't come with a focused mindset. I'm not going to blame Georgia for them, although I don't know what the mindset was in that game. They didn't look like they came to play. But Michigan's got to get a win. I think this season, you can drop a regular season game. If you make the playoff, you got to get a win in the playoffs. You just got to break through the next part of that progression as a program. You've got to get a win in the playoffs this year. Will Jim return to coach next year? If not, how will that affect the 2024 recruiting class? Good question. If you guys have been living on a rock for the last couple days, cool, no big deal. We'll tell you what happened. It was put out there 2 weeks ago that Jim Harbaugh is not going to be suspended. The NCAA and him have broken off talks. Then Michigan kind of jumped ahead of it. So you know what? We're going to just assess our own suspension, assume that the NCAA is going to accept that. Don't have to worry about it after this season. Don't have to have speculation go on and on. So Michigan, Jim Harbaugh, Ward Manuel, they put in a 3-game self-imposed suspension. So he's not going to be there for the first 3 games. UNLV, which we'll have a live watch party for here on the channel. East Carolina. Then UNLV. Then Bowling Green, which is a night game, actually, Jack. I don't know if you knew that one, on September 16th. So he'll be back against Rutgers on the 23rd, and then they head to the road on Nebraska. I think it's the right move, right? I said this a couple times this week, but this is the right move for 2023 and the future. They don't need Jim Harbaugh those first 3 games. Next year, they got Texas in the second game. They need him next year. They're losing 16, 17, 18 stars. They need Jim Harbaugh next year. Might be losing 2 coordinators, right? Both those guys could be candidates for better jobs, head coach, defensive coordinator in the NFL. I think it was the right move to do this right now. It makes me feel like Jim Harbaugh is planning on returning, because if he knew he was leaving, if he thought it was an NFL job lined up for him, he would push this off. And that's kind of why I was thinking, well, why is he pushing this off? They need him next year, right? He's got to be absolutely focused next year, or this could be a 7-5 team if the right coaching mindset and offseason strategy isn't implemented. Make it wait into 2024. It just didn't make sense to me. So I'm glad Michigan put their kind of heads together, came up with a solution that I think will end this situation. Although, the NCAA could come and say, well, Jim, we didn't think 3 games was enough. We still want you to spend you 2 or 3 games next year. Although I doubt that would happen. The question though was on recruiting. If Jim Harbaugh leaves, anything's, who the hell knows what's going to happen, right? It's tough to say. You've had coaches quit or, leave for a different job, and their recruiting gets better, right? Because the assistant coaches one of the assistant coaches who was doing a lot of the recruiting, he gets the head coaching job. So it's like a rallying cry. You've seen other schools where it's fallen apart. But right now, I think the one thing I want to talk about recruiting is that it needs to regain some momentum. Michigan was everywhere with recruiting in March, Jaden Davis, in April, in May, and then the last 2-3 months, they've lost a couple of recruits in the last last month or so, and they've missed out. I don't know if the Smith brothers have both committed. Now they're looking at Kentucky. I don't know if they've lost them yet. But there's been 3 or 4 decisions that have been announced, or Michigan's been in the final 2 or final 3 that just haven't gone their way. That number 1 recruiting class back in March, it's now like the number 7 or 8 class, depending on which service that you use. If you guys have yet to do so, make sure you subscribe to the Michigan Football Report by Chat Sports. We're 26,804 subscribers to the channel, meaning we need 196 more to hit the next 1,000 milestone. So help us get to 27,000 subscribers before the season starts next Saturday. Send the link to a friend if you've already subscribed, youtube.com/Michigan TV. It's in the comments and description and the live chat of today's video. And you watch our live shows. We'll be live every Wednesday. I think the consensus right now, Jack, about 5 o'clock seems to be the winner right now on every poll we've done. So 5 o'clock Eastern Wednesday, join the Hard Hat Club. You will be on the end screen after the season for most of our videos next season, and we'll be giving away these helmets and a T-shirt every single game, Michigan football game. So have your name on here. John Blaze, Josiah Carter, Jeremy Clore, Shane Johnson, Stephen Mers, Bill Graves, Dominic Franchillo, Brad Butchegart, Matt Shook. Appreciate you guys. I'm missing a few others from today's show. Appreciate you guys. So make sure to join our watch our live shows if you haven't yet. If you watch us on demand this weekend, Wednesday, 5 o'clock, that is the time for you. Who do you think will be the Aiden Hutchinson of this year's defense, or will there not be one? I hope there is one. Mike Morris certainly kind of stepped up to the plate as that menacing defensive end last year, along, who was the guy, I'm forgetting his name, that went to Alabama, a bunch of schools, came to Michigan for 1 year, and then he went to, now he's with Biff Poggi at Charlotte. Regardless, this year I think Derek Moore is the guy I think has the talent to do so. I think going back to high school, I've heard some maturity and maybe work ethic rumblings. Hopefully he's gotten past that. A lot of kids hit 19, 20 years old, it starts to click for them what they need to do to take their, I'm the best 7th grader, I'm best 10th grader, best 11th grader. I'm the 7th best defensive lineman on this team as a freshman. How do I get to the best on this team, in this conference, in college football? As a professional, I think Derek Moore needs to take that next step. I think he has the talent to do so, and that's the guy I would think. If he can be a menace on the outside, this Michigan defense, the sky is the limit for him. Because I think on the inside, they got the bodies. It's that pass rush on the outside. They really haven't, proven that they can develop. None of the guys coming back this year are really proven. Jalen Harrell returning as a starter, he wasn't necessarily a menace as a pass rusher last year. All right, getting back to that question I answered at the top of the show, the 5 schools with a U.S. president. They produce a U.S. president and a Super Bowl winning quarterback. If you haven't answered yet, we're going to give the live chat 10 more seconds to answer while I do this. Now think about who could it be? Who are the schools most likely to do? Harvard, Yale, Princeton? I don't know. So it's got to be really schools that produce a lot of high quality college football players, but also usually have an academic slant. It's probably not Toledo, right? Probably not Toledo. Arizona State, Jack? I don't know. It's where you at? I don't know. Arizona State? I don't think so. So here are the 5 schools. Michigan. So Tom Brady. Chad Henne also, although he wasn't a starter, but that doesn't count. Just Tom Brady counts. Delaware. That's Joe Flacco. Although I don't know who their president is off the top. Gerald Ford, the president for Michigan. The only president, little presidential trivia, the only president, Jack, Gerald Ford, to never be elected president or vice president. He took over as Nixon's vice president when Nixon's VP was kicked out of office, Spiro Agnew, and then Nixon was resigned a year or so later, and Gerald Ford became president after never winning an election, and then lost his re-election bid. So he was in there for a year and a half, 2 years. So that's Michigan, Delaware, Navy, Roger Staubach, and I'm not sure. I'm sure there's quite a few from Navy become president. Stanford, John Elway. And then whoever the president is, we did the thing. How about Miami, Ohio? That's an interesting one. I think like Herbert Coolidge. I know what it is, Jack. You don't have to look it up. I'm playing coy with the people. It's probably like Coolidge or one of these guys from Ohio. Ben Roethlisberger is the quarterback from Miami of Ohio. So there is a little college football trivia. Head out there in the streets, to the bars, the restaurants, impress your friends with that bit of knowledge. All right, if you guys are watching on demand, if you're watching this over the weekend, we're going to put this on the channel. Watch now. Here are my 2 Wi-Fi rants. We'll do 2019 first, Jack, and we'll do 2021. You have both those Wi-Fi rants if you want to have a little laugh kind of based on what we started off today's mailbag show with. If you're watching live right now, we're going to keep it rolling. Until you guys see you next time, the Wi-Fi crew, the on-demand crew, watch the Wi-Fi rants and go blue. All right, we've got 2 segments down and 2 segments to go. Where are we at on this thing, Jack? Did I skip around a little bit? We just did the wardrobe change. I don't think that's the spot we're doing the wardrobe change. Gotcha. Yeah, I'll probably do it. For the other one. Yeah, I already did that one. Yeah, cool. So we'll do that in a second. All right, little production discussion here on the Michigan Football Report. Appreciate everyone watching. We got 2 segments to go. Got about 100 people watching, so I'm not sure if it's our biggest audience yet, but we're going to keep doing these live shows, so we will be the spot to be for Michigan football content all off season long. We really appreciate everyone who has been supporting the show over the last, I think it's our 5th season, 5th season here on YouTube. It's been quite the ride, and I appreciate it. We just put a new poll up there, Jack. If you're in the live chat, get in there right now and vote. Will Michigan have 2 1,000-yard running backs in fact or fiction, 2,000-yard running backs this season? Fact or fiction? The early results are fact. 75% of, now it's 50-50, so some fiction's coming in right there. All right, let me get myself going. We've got, go ahead, Jack. All right, we are going subscriber only on the chat. So if you're not a subscriber to the channel, you cannot comment. But before we take our next segment, 5 burning questions, let's get everybody to spam Go Blue. So spam Go Blue in the comments right now. We will give some shout-outs. Anybody who types Go Blue in the next 60 seconds, I'm giving you a shout-out here on the Michigan Football Report. We've had some Ohio State fans infiltrated it. We said go subscriber only. So if you haven't yet, now is the time to subscribe. You can get in the comments. And, we might do subscriber only during our watch parties, too. So that's another added bonus. You don't have to wait till to subscribe later on in the season. Some Go Blues coming in from Jeremy Clore, a hat-out guy. A-Train, hold on a second. No, it's A-Car. I was going to say A-Train, we've got a question. No, it's A-Car coming up next. A-Train, longtime viewer 132. Bill Graves, my guy. Mike Burkhorst, Go Blue. Robbie McCrae, accounts 22. Do you have season tickets, Billy? Billy, answer the question. Scott Y, Jim Kalich, Super Chat leader right now. I think so. And then Rick Sandberg, Jim, follow me on Twitter. It's at James Yoder or Instagram at Michigan Football Report. And make sure want to make sure we get you your, if you're the Super Chat leaderboard. Mike Layton coming to the Super Chat. We will put that up on screen. The Super Chat MVP today, which as of now, it is Jim. I'm going to send him the Don t-shirt. Mike Layton coming in. He is a hard hat guy. He is a producer. He is on the end screen. Mike, appreciate you, Jack. Make sure this one, too, along with the last few questions we get in the next mailbag segment. Mike, I am going to, if you need to switch up the order to get some of those earlier, that's fine, too. Mike Layton, I got you, Mike, on the helmet. Whoop. Make that E a little bigger. Thank you for the Super Chat, Mike. He says, this is the year for Roman Wilson. Healthy and just killing the slot. I agree with you. I wonder, it's no one really has a good answer. If you talk to parents of players, you talk to support staff, you talk to guys who were on the team last year, Mike Layton, you were on the helmet there. Why did Roman Wilson, why did he disappear at times last year? Why was he scoring touchdowns? Like the first 3-4 games of the year, all he did was score touchdowns. Every time he touched the ball, he was scoring a touchdown, reverse, short pass, long pass. Then he went like an 8-game stretch with not doing a ton of really anything. 1 catch, 2 catches here and there, not scoring touchdowns. And then he emerged in that TCU game. Should have had that touchdown early on, right at the goal line. Absolutely disastrous call by the referees. And then in the second half, scored a touchdown, had a touchdown on the reverse. He was making plays, and he was the biggest beneficiary of Donovan Edwards and Blake Corum being out in spring practice because Michigan went downfield passing. I like that take. I think it's going to be a big year for Roman Wilson. I don't think he's going to be a 1,000-yard guy, but I think he could have 700 yards receiving, 200 yards rushing, and may make an impact with a kickoff or a punt return, taking it back to the house at the most opportune parts of the game. If you guys saw this hard hat, join the Hard Hat Club. I'm going to be giving shouts all season long. All of our Hard Hat members, anyone who super chats $10 or more, like Jacksonville Zoe, Stephen Mers, Michael Souders, Net Meg. She said it was her first time today, although it didn't prompt us the first time. John Blaze, our MVP of the year so far. Josiah Kiter also up there. Brett Buttigieg. Brad, Blue Wolverine. Who did I miss? Mike K was in there today. Anyone that's ones today? I put him on a couple different helmets today. Other ones: Robert Davis, Matthew Spence, Cody Momford, Jim Prindable, Backroad Blue, Cruiser for Show, G Calendar. More Backroad Blues on here. Jim Prindle as well. Charles Kennebrew, Matthew Spence, I'm sorry. Javier Gregson, I haven't seen that name in the supers or the chats in a little while. So appreciate everybody. That is the Hard Hat Club. Shout outs all year, and you are on the end screen of our video after signing day coming up on February 7th. All right, let's keep it rolling. Where are we headed with this one, Jack? We're going to the next segment? Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm ready for the next segment when you want to. Jack's in my ear saying, James, you are the best host of all time. I want to be like you, and you caught me off guard for a second. All right, so that's the Hard Hat Club. We are going to do 5 Michigan football burning questions, and then right after that, let's go straight in after this one. We'll do the burning questions, go straight in, a quick break, straight into the second mailbag. So use hashtag Michigan. We're going to take your questions right after this Michigan football 5. Go ahead. Oh, yeah, it's never mind. Yeah, I take that back. So we'll do the change on that. So Car 6, I've got your question coming up here. We're going to start Michigan football burning questions right now. Over on the Michigan football Instagram page, A.Car6 asked this question. He says, if JJ leads us to a 15-0 season, 3rd straight Big Ten championship, and a national championship, is he now the best Michigan quarterback of all time? That is a hell of a question. It's one I've thought about. When I saw that question posed on our Instagram account, I thought I had to put this on today's show. We've got 5 burning questions for the 2023 Michigan football team. This is the year, guys. Houston or bust. The game is happening about 3 hours away from where I live in Dallas, Texas. I'm going to be there. I'm booking a hotel right now if I have to. We're going to be there in Houston. Michigan's got to get over the hump. All right, 2021, it was Ohio State. 2022, it was an undefeated season. 2023, it is winning that college football playoff semifinal game. Give themselves a chance in a national championship game when anything can go. If you guys want a free Michigan football jersey, keep watching. About 6-7 minutes from now, we're going to tell you how one of our partners is giving all of our viewers who want to get started with them a free Michigan football Jordan brand jersey. So keep watching. About 6, 7, 8 minutes from now, we're going to tell you how to win that. So the question is, if Michigan wins it all, is JJ MCCarthy the best Michigan quarterback ever? Answer the question in the live chat. Answer that question in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. Certainly there's plenty of guys out there that could be considered the one. But if JJ MCCarthy goes to a national championship, 15-0 even, or a loss, and it still makes it in there, he's going to have a 2-year run as starter in 2022 and 2023 that I think, at least in the modern day, are unmatched for a Big Ten or a Michigan football player. So that's the question I'm starting off with, this burning question. Is JJ MCCarthy an elite quarterback? What do I mean by elite quarterback? I am talking about a guy that when you talk to a non-Michigan fan, you talk to a fan of an SEC or a Big 12 school 5-10 years from now, they can remember things that he did. I talk about a Joe Burrow, okay? We're talking about a Trevor Lawrence. We might be talking about Tua. Prior to that, Baker Mayfield's elite. Cam Newton, Tim Tebow, Matt Leinart. Those are the kind of guys. There's probably Johnny Manziel, right? 6 a decade, 5, 6 a decade, 8 a decade. Can JJ MCCarthy be one of those guys? I'm projecting him to have a bigger year. If you see these stats, I'm basing it on 15 games. I think Michigan's going to make it to the national title game. If they do, and he only has 31 touchdown passes, I might say, you know what, James, you were right. But I'm actually disappointed at this point because if he gets Michigan to the national title game, I feel like that means he's taken that elite level, and I hope he's up there with some of the better quarterbacks in college football over the past decade. 38, 40, 46 touchdown passes in that range. 31 would be a Michigan record, but it certainly wouldn't be anything to brag about when you're talking about elite quarterbacks. All eyes are on JJ, right? He showed glimpses of greatness against Ohio State, right? Avoiding that pass rush, getting the ball off to Cornelius Johnson, letting Cornelius make a move, go to the touchdown. Stepping up in the pocket, a couple possessions later, Cornelius Johnson again, wide open, but he didn't, JJ MCCarthy, other Michigan quarterbacks in the past, as soon as he let the ball go, I'm like, he's going to overthrow him. He's going to, right in the breadbasket, touchdown. Stepping up in the pocket against, in the second half, hitting Colson Loveland down there. 3rd down and goal, Michigan's up by just a few points in the third quarter, just knocking your head down, getting in the end zone, scoring that touchdown. And there was a play also in the third quarter where he just broke off 3 tackles, right? Really kind of told Ohio State who is boss. First half against TCU, disaster. But second half, he proved that, hey, I can lead a pass-first, pass-happy offense for this program. I'm thinking this. Is he the next Andrew Luck or the next Chad Henne, right? What's the next Andrew Luck mean, right? If you look back 2009 Andrew Luck, he had like 13, 14, 15 touchdowns, something like that. He leveled up, like 33, 34 in 2010, and then I think like 36, 37 in 2011 after Jim Harbaugh. Or Chad Henne. which is, hey, his first year as a starter, that's about as good as you're going to get, and he's never really going to progress. If you look at Chad Henne, the true freshman in 2004, Chad Henne, the senior in 2007, and everything in between is a 4-year starter, I'm not sure you could realistically say that the 2004 version wasn't even actually the best guy. So which JJ are we getting? Are we getting a Trevor Lawrence where the shackles come off in year 2, Harbaugh has a little more trust, and he is an elite quarterback, All-American quarterback, Heisman contender, can win Michigan a playoff game or a national championship game? Or is it a Chad Henne where you're going to get 22 of 29 for 216 yards, 2 touchdowns, and that's about all you're going to get? I think that's just the question. That's the difference in this question. If it's Andrew Luck, all the other talent is a national championship team. If it's Chad Henne, you're going to lose to either Ohio State or Penn State. You're going to lose that CFP semifinal game again, and that's just kind of how things are. Second question up, can Michigan stop Georgia? And why am I talking about Georgia? All right, I think it's the big boss. Alabama's down. They might be in the national championship game this year. LSU could be Florida State. Right? There's all kinds of teams. But right now, LSU is the only team. Georgia's the only team ranked ahead of Michigan in the polls. And we saw the last 2 years, those are kind of the best 2 teams in college football over the last 2 seasons. I think this guy could be the difference maker. I think that if Michigan's going to beat Georgia, it's not going to be by out-athleting them at every position. It's not going to be by having better defensive offensive line. It's going to be just like in the documentary on Netflix, The Swamp. They felt that if Percy Harvin was on the field, they could beat anybody because he could get the ball in his hands and take it to the house, score a touchdown whenever they were needed. And that's how confident I am in the Don. What I'm least confident in is Michigan's ability to get him the ball at those opportune times when they absolutely need a score. If you guys haven't seen yet, we've got a Don t-shirt, the Don 7. I got one for my son. He wears it nearly every day. I watched those 2 runs against Ohio State so much this offseason on our big screen on YouTube, etc., that my son is just obsessed with Donovan Edwards, even though he didn't really care about football much before last November. He's got a Don shirt. He's got a Donovan Edwards t-shirt jersey and a real jersey. If you guys want a Donovan Edwards jersey, go to chatsports.com/down7. The link's down in the comments and the description. Also putting it in the live chat here on our live Wednesday 5 o'clock show. And one more quick request from you guys. Can we get to 27,000 subscribers here on the Michigan Football Report? We've added about 15, 16 since we started this live show. If you're watching later on the week, that number might be creeping more towards 27,000. But subscribe if you haven't. Daily shows now through February 7th. Weekly lives every Wednesday and probably game days almost every week. Send the link to your friends who are Michigan football fans. Tell them to watch the show. Biggest audience of any program on any platform. TV, radio, podcast, YouTube in all of 2022. And we hope to do that again in 2023. I'm just getting so annoyed with Georgia. So annoyed. They're such a kind of a not pointless team, but it's an unremarkable team, unmemorable team, right? I watched Swamp Kings. I can remember all kinds of things with those Florida teams. I remember USC teams like they were left and right. I remember some Alabama teams. I have memories from Johnny Manziel 10 years ago. I have memories from that LSU National Championship. Even though I don't follow those teams, I have no memories from Georgia, right? The only memory I have is the game I went to when they beat TCU 65-7. I have no memories of anything that was special about these teams. I'm just irritating. Their fans are chirping me on Twitter left and right. So comment beat Georgia if you can, because they started to infiltrate Georgia fans because of my Twitter account, infiltrate our YouTube comments. Let's make that a hostile environment for them. Let's ask you guys this question before we continue on with our Michigan football burning questions. 3 more to go. Who will win the 2023 Heisman Trophy? I think Michigan was a play or 2 away from winning back-to-back Heisman trophies. If Aiden Hutchinson gets that touchdown against Michigan State, I think it was a touchdown, strip touchdown, whatever it was, against Michigan State. They don't overturn that. And then Bryce Young doesn't have a last-minute game-winning drive on the evening that Michigan beat Ohio State in 2021 against Auburn. They lose that game. He doesn't win the Heisman. Aiden Hutchinson does. If Blake Corum doesn't get hurt against Illinois, 1 play, I think he wins the 2023 Heisman Trophy. Michigan could have back-to-back Heisman winners. Let me know who you guys think. I think Michigan's got 3 guys in this roster who could win it. JJ MCCarthy, Blake Corum, and Donovan Edwards. Third burning question is who's going to emerge at the other cornerback spot, right? We're calling Mike Sanderstroll a nickel corner. We're not putting him in this equation of cornerback 2 or cornerback 3. I am going to show you my cornerback depth chart and who I think is going to be the starter opposite Will Johnson. If he is in the lineup, might be a little load management here in a moment, but college football is here this weekend. If you're pumped like I am going to spend all kinds of time on Saturday. I'm locking myself in the man cave. I'm going to be watching Michigan college football all Saturday, getting myself ready for next week. Comment me if you're pumped. Here's the week 0 odds. Top row there is the two games. That's that, and then the top row, bottom row, the two games I'm focusing on this weekend. Notre Dame heading to Dublin. They're facing Navy. They're 20.5-point favorites. The over/under on that one is 49. USC 30.5-point favorite. They've got the Heisman Trophy, returning Heisman Trophy winner Caleb Williams over San Jose State. 66.5 is the over/under. I'm going to be betting both those games at BetUS, chatsports.com/GoBlue, chatsports.com/GoBlue. Put the link in your browser now, screenshot it. You got to go to that link. If you do go to that link and you use promo code GoBlue, no spaces, you will also get an additional 125% deposit bonus, a Michigan football jersey, Jordan brand jersey from us to you, chatsports.com/GoBlue. Follow that first step. That's really all that matters. Because if not, you don't show up on a report. We got to be like, well, tell us this, tell us that. Sign up a deposit of $100 or more. You get your 125% deposit bonus. Deposit up to $500, get an extra $625 bonus. Make your first bet. Email us, jersey@chatsports.com to redeem. We'll get your account number, your size, your address, and ship you off a Michigan football #1 jersey. The real stuff, not some Walmart knockoff, real Jordan brand #1 Michigan football jersey. Chatsports.com/GoBlue. Support us, support our sponsor, and we'll support you back with a Michigan football jersey. Get going with BetUS. Chatsports.com/GoBlue. Promo code GoBlue. Here's my depth chart, and this is depending on everybody's going to play, right? Will Johnson, as you've probably heard me say this week, is been held out of the last couple padded scrimmages, and I think there's a chance that Michigan could load manage him even with sitting him out a game or two, or only being in one or two series before sitting out, as long as Michigan feels like they're in control of the game. Who's going to be the cornerback 2? If Will Johnson's out, who's going to be cornerback 1 and 2 or 3? Or they have to go 5 or 6 defensive backs deep against bigger passing teams, against Ohio State later on in the year. I think that's just something to think about. If Michigan doesn't figure that cornerback 2 position out, you could have a situation where, like, gosh, we were one player away from a national title. I think that transfer from UMass, Josh Wallace, I think he is the starter for sure. I think book it after everything that we've been told in the past week. So that could be your starter, your quarterback 2, but he hasn't faced big level competition and excelled. He's coming over from UMass, Don Brown's defense last year. Hope we forgot everything that he learned there. But behind him, Amarian Walker was hurt. Now he's back in there. Freshman Jair Hill, Miles Pollard. Will they make an impact? There's a lot of guys. Cody Jones, some of those safeties. Zeke Berry could potentially get playing time at corner as well. So that's a big question for us. Houston or bust for me for this team. If they figure this position out, Houston, book it for Michigan. We're booking Josh Wallace, and you can book Houston if Michigan can figure out that cornerback 2 and, hell, even their cornerback 3 position. Fourth burning question for us on the Michigan Football Report. It pertains to Jim Harbaugh. Will this suspension be a distraction for this program? It's already been a distraction for me, right? Saturday night announcements, Monday afternoon announcements, all this different stuff is a distraction for what I'm doing here with the show and our job. We're giving you information, and it's wrong information, and it's new information. It's been distracting. I hope that this is a rallying moment for this team, for this program. That's like, everybody's after us, right? You think about things in life. You ever have a situation, Jack, where you've got like an argument with somebody, or like, hey, like things went bad or things were weird with us, and like you kind of like don't talk to them for a while, or like it was like beef with somebody, and then like you have it out. You kind of just like you get past it. Then like the relationship almost improves for a while, right? And then it comes back to its equilibrium. I'm thinking for Michigan is that this is a rally moment where they can't break through. It's like this is the thing that rallies them to say, F it. Sometimes in life when everything's going the wrong way, or if you just, it's like the darkest days, it's like the darkest days or right before dawn, whatever it is if you're just saying F it sometimes in life, you'll make decisions that sometimes you would more than likely be held back from doing, right? I can't give a great example of that. I might just be like, hell with it. I'm going to go up to that girl and tell her she's beautiful because, you know what? If not, I'm never going to see her again. That's an example of it right here. This could be kind of a rallying cry. It's like, hell, we're just going to go out and win the whole freaking thing to stick it to the NCAA. Jim Harbaugh, is this a distraction? I think it's a rallying moment for Michigan. It can be if they have the right mindset and don't get bummed out by their head coach not being on the sidelines. Number 5, it's just really like, can Michigan win a playoff game? Can this team win a playoff game? 6 straight college football playoff or bowl losses for Jim Harbaugh. The 2016, 17, 18, 19, 21, and 22 seasons, last 2 in the CFP. At least 3 of them were unacceptable. Florida State, South Carolina, TCU. unacceptable. They were the better team. Alabama, Georgia, probably not. Who's the other one I'm missing? Oh, Florida 4, honestly. That Florida team, Michigan was definitely better than that Florida team as well in the 2018 season. That was a really big bummer. I think Michigan needs to win a playoff game. Can they win a playoff game? Can they do it? Because you might say, well, what happens if they get to Houston and they don't win the national title? They lose to Georgia again. That's a wasted season. I don't think so. I'll be disappointed. I'll be bummed. But it's just like breaking through. Right? It's breaking through and getting there. And maybe 2024 Michigan isn't nearly as good as 2023 or 2022. It may take a down year or two. And down year could be 10-2 or 9-3 to get back to where this team is right now here in 2023. But I think this last 3 years will kind of have a little bit of a scarlet letter, a stain on it, if you make the CFP 3 times and have 3 straight losses. So I'll ask you guys, can they get that college football playoff semifinal win? Will Michigan make it to the national championship game? Houston or bust. Give me an H if Houston. They're playing Houston national title game. Give me an N if no, they will not. Let me know what you guys are thinking. For me, I've been saying this for months. It is Houston or bust. If I am in Houston and Michigan isn't in that damn national championship game, I'm probably just going to pout, Jack. I'm probably not going to do anything, but I'm not going to be very happy. Houston or bust for me. It's the 2023 Michigan football season, and it is the live daily videos for the 2023 Michigan Football Report. Let me know in the live chat who is your all-time Michigan football player. Get the comments going. Give me who your all-time Michigan football player is. Jack is going to take over. He wants to give some shout-outs to you, the people. So give Jack about 2 minutes on the mic. So type in your favorite all-time Michigan football player, and Jack will give shout-outs to everybody.
All right, let's see it. A-Train says Anthony Thomas. A-Train number 32. Bill Graves says Woodson. Nate DeGreat saying Jabril Peppers. I love Jabril Peppers. I've liked Jabril Peppers before even now. I love the name. I think he was a scrappy player. Of course, I love Tom Brady, but that's just me being a Patriot fan, of course. Jeremy Clore says The Dawn. Jack M says Mike Hart. Northwest 202 says David Terrell. Get your all-time favorite Michigan player in the chat. Let's hear what you guys have to say. Roby says Charles Woodson. Cody says Mike Hart as well. Mike Hart might be the interim head coach. That's what the rumors are saying. Account 22 says Woodson. Ben Everywhere says D-Rob. Richard Snow says Denard. Daniel Gallagher, Charles Woodson. Keith Christian. Can't forget Jamie Morris from Bill Graves. Got some good ones in there, guys. Got some good ones in there. Jack M. Mike Hart said he would be the Michigan head coach one day after retiring from the Colts. I believe him. Well, the rumors are he might be for the first 3 games, so people are talking. We'll see. Andrew says David Terrell, Keith, Denard Robinson, Cody. Leon Hall is a close second. He was cold AF. Keep getting those in, guys. Keep getting those in. And in a second, we're going to have Mr. Yoder, the king of Michigan football, back with us. Official king of Michigan media, Michigan football media. James Yoder will be back. Get him in. Keep him coming. We're going to turn sub-only mode off only as well. We're going to give freedom to all of the people that are not subscribed. The haters. The people that don't know ball. The people that are not subscribed have the freedom now. So who are your favorite Michigan players? All of the people that have not subscribed, which I don't know why you haven't. You should.
Jack, let me know when you want me back.
Bring me back.
Sure the mic is good. Are we good on the sound? All right. I got wardrobe change. I had to. I got to hit the golf course after this, Jack. I had to do a wardrobe change. Kidding. I got a sponsor coming up. I got to tell you guys about. Make sure I am repping their gear. I don't know about this one, Mike Layden. I love you, man, but Devin Gardner. We've been live for an hour and 45 minutes. I'm going to take. We had a super chat come in earlier saying, get the drinking started. I chugged a beer if you didn't see, so I'm going to have a little sip of this Coors Light because it's almost 7 o'clock on the East Coast. We can take those earlier on if you want, Jack, and this, you can switch up the order of the mailbag if you want, but that's up to you. That's why you're the producer. We call him the Scott Storch of YouTube. You familiar with Scott Storch? Big time rap producer in the early 2000s. All right. Let's take a couple more questions or things. They're all-time football players. I see a few. Devin Gardner. I don't know, Mike Layton. You got to explain that one to me. Make sure you guys are following me on Twitter. If you don't, if you're in the live chat and you don't yet, it's at James Yoder. Jack, before we start the segment, can we update the Super Chat leaderboard to make sure we know, or do you want to just take a visual tally? Okay. So toss up that, see if there's anybody within striking range, right?
Okay. Here's what we're looking at. So Jim is leading with $32 right now.
What's his last name again? It's up there.
Jim Kalish, K-A-L-I-C-H.
Yep.
We've got Matt Shook right behind him at $30,
okay.
$2 behind.
Okay.
Cody Monford just super to 5. I need to do the mental math real quick.
Mm-hmm.
He might be close.
Okay.
Let me see. Sorry, guys, trying to do mental math. 10, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25. So Cody is at 26.
6, so he's what? That's $9 behind? Is it?
He is $6 behind.
All right.
Yeah, he's $6 behind.
Oh, so 32, I thought.
Yeah, so 32 is the lead.
All right, Cody.
So that's what we look at.
$6 one super chat, $6 and 1 second super chat from Cody. We're just $7. You are getting the Don shirt. We'll cut that off as soon as this next portion is off. So, Jim, okay, he's at another $2 for Jim. So he's at $34 now for Jim. Jim is going to get himself a Don T-shirt. If you haven't, Jim, yet, make sure you give me a tweet or a follow on Instagram or Twitter so we can get you a T-shirt if you end up being the winner. So 3 guys in the running. Whoever has the most super chats today gets the Don T-shirt. There's Cody Monfort. Now he's in the lead. Go Blue. Oh boy, we got a super chat battle, please. So Jack, if we can really quick, maybe like get at least those top 2 guys so we know those 2 numbers. They go back and forth. Cody Monfort. So Jim says all he does is win, but then Cody says, I don't know, Jim. Cody Monfort. Okay, I like it. I like the competition. This is what breeds championships, guys. Competition breeds championships. And Jack, you know what we got to do? We had 500 stickers on this in November when we started this thing. This is our 17th live show. We got 2 stickers left, so I got to order some stickers next week to get one of these. But Cody, I've got that 10 on the helmet. I'll put you, Cody, right up there at the front. So you're leading right there. You are right at the front of this blue, a little off-color blue helmet, but we got there. So Cody is now in the lead in the Super Chat battle. When we end this next segment, we're going to take you guys' questions for about 12, 15 minutes. We end that. That's going to be it. So you got about anybody wants to jump in, $10, $15. Cody is what, $2 ahead, right? $2 ahead. So Cody's at 36, Jim's at 34. That is the leaderboard right now here on the Michigan Football Report. Let's take your questions. If you want to have your question answered here on the screen, and during the show, use hashtag Michigan or use Super Chat. We got quite a few Super Chats we're going to get to from early in the show on this segment. I like it. Account 22, bidding war. Exactly. Mike Layton says in the Gardner era, he went to a lot of home games too. Gallows and Gardner. Jeremy Gallon and Gardner, there were some magic games, but there were some very frustrating games from those teams. Jack, I changed shirts. Now my hair looks all weird, but that's okay. Sack leader this season. That's a good question. I'm going to go with Derek Moore. If he can make things happen, I'm going to pull things for Derek Moore. All right, let's get it going. It is our audience mailbag number 2 coming up on the Michigan Football Report. Let's get it going right now. The Michigan Football Report by Chat Sports is presented by Roan. I am rocking some Roan clothes. Their commuter collection is amazing. I'm going to head to the golf course right after this show, and I can do it wearing the same shirt I'm rocking here with Roan. Go to roan.com/chatsports. That's roan.com/chatsports. 20% off your order. roan.com/chatsports. All right, we have got the Michigan Football live audience Q&A coming up here in just a moment. I've got a few questions I am going to answer for you guys, but I wanted to let you know how to get a question on the show. These questions, use hashtag Michigan or Super Chat. We've got some Super Chats coming up from the live show, or if you are using hashtag Michigan anytime, we can track your comments down and put them on our live audience mailbags. College football gets underway this weekend. What is a better football product for you? You can think about it at home. You can think about it at the stadium. Whenever you want to think about it, let me know. Type C if it's college football. Type N if it's the NFL. It is such a C for me. It's not even funny. We may have a new leaderboard in the Super Chat battle there, Jack, so we'll toss Jim's question up here on this live mailbag. Let me know N or C, better football product for you, the NFL or college football. Next Saturday, 11:15 a.m. Eastern, the Michigan Football Report. James Yoder, Young Harbaugh, Jack Lotteray. We'll be live for 5 hours straight, 45 minutes pregame, 11:15. The game is on Peacock Network, so we thought a lot of people want people to watch it, so we won't have the actual game, but we will have live play-by-play, stats updated, leaders tell you what's going on. You can see my reaction, and I'll take your questions live during the show. Then we'll have about another 45 minutes to an hour post-game show. Join myself and Young Harbaugh. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Or, hey, send that to your friends. Say, look, we can't watch Peacock game, or these announcers suck. Let's go watch Yoder, ask him questions, kind of have a Michigan football community live during the game. Jim Kalich, he says, maybe I should be the one chugging beers. If you're watching this weekend, this is a Super Chat battle on our live show from Wednesday. Jim is now our Super Chat leader. He's going to win himself the Don jersey if things shake out how they were on there. Jim, that is now, what, $44 today? Jim, you are getting yourself the Don shirt if you are leading our Super Chat MVP after this game, guys. Every Wednesday, probably at 5 o'clock Eastern is what the audience has decided. We will be live for up to 2 hours here every Wednesday during this Michigan football season, breaking down everything you need to know from the prior game and into the next game. Super Chat's your best way to be a part of the show. Get your name on the end screen. Get your name on one of our helmets. And we're giving away prizes every single week. Jim is going to win a Michigan Football The Don 7 t-shirt. Cody Montfort with a question. He is our Super Chat runner-up as of now. Tyler Morris will be our leading wide receiver. You heard it here first. If he's healthy, he will be a dog. I think I've told this yet. I'm going to have Arnold mock something up. Cody, it's funny you use the word dog because I am breaking out after the first game. I'll probably do first game might have 10 or 12 or 15 guys, but anybody who has kind of elevated themselves to I can count that guy, dog. And I'm hoping Tyler Morris can be one of them. Look, Michigan is not bringing back a deep wide receiver group. They are not bringing back. They've got Cornelius Johnson. You've got Roman Wilson. They combined last year for not even 700 so yards, not even 800 yards. And they got a lot of run in the spring practice and so far this fall with the limitations of Donovan Edwards and Corum in the spring and being able to focus on the downfield passing game spring, summer, and now into fall camp. But that is not a lot of production. I guess it's a little more than 800 yards, so 875 yards between those two. When your fourth string tight end at the start of last season is your third leading receiver coming into the next season, you know you were lacking depth on the wide receiver position. Tyler Morris, hearing a lot of good things about him. I've got him in my starting lineup. Did miss the practice, the padded practice 2 weeks ago. He's healthy. I think you could be right. I don't know if he's going to lead the team, but maybe. Be a good sign for the future if a sophomore could come in after not doing much as a freshman last year. Could come in because after this season, I don't even know what to make of the Michigan football wide receiver group. Mike Layton, one of our Super Chat helmet members, a producer of the show, says, this is the year for Roman Wilson, healthy and just killing the slot. A lot of excitement about the wide receivers. You see that question from Cody, or that statement from Cody on sophomore Tyler Morris, former teammate of JJ MCCarthy when they were sophomore, freshman, and then junior, sophomore in high school before JJ went down to IMG Academy for his senior season when the state of Illinois wasn't having fall football. I like it. If we're sitting here 4, 5, 6, 8 games in the season and you're saying, well, grade the wide receiver group. And if you're saying it's a B and I'm saying it's a B or an A, B plus or an A, sky's the limit, right? Because that is the limiting factor on this team, the depth of the wide receiver group and the playmaking ability of this wide receiver group. If somebody likes Tyler Morris, somebody likes Roman Wilson, I think Roman Wilson is going to be the guy to break out this year. I think that we could have a big-time season in front of us. Guys, I'm sure many of you are just like me and you have social life, parenting responsibilities, and heck, even like to hit the golf course sometimes while on company time. Well, I've got the solution to the hassle of changing clothes between your daily activities, and it is the Commuter Collection from Roan. Athletic dress pants, shirts, and apparel. Men's closets were due for a radical reinvention, and Roan stepped up to the challenge. I am wearing Roan's commuter shirt and commuter pants, both part of the Commuter Collection, which is the most comfortable, breathable, and flexible set of products known to man, and here's why. Roan helps you get ready for any occasion with the Commuter Collection, which offers the world's most comfortable pants, dress shirts, quarter zips, and polos. You will never have to worry about what to wear when you have the Roan Commuter Collection. And Jack, I don't know if you knew this, they're in quite a few malls now. Roan's got actual physical stores. I saw them at the mall here in Dallas. Their comfortable 4-way stretch fabric provides breathability, flexibility, and lets you enjoy what life throws your way from your commute to work to your 18 holes of golf. It's time to feel confident without the hassle. With Rhone's wrinkle release technology, wrinkles disappear as you stretch and wear their products. It's that easy. And with Gold Fusion anti-odor technology, you're smelling fresh and clean all day long. Rhone is 100% machine washable, so you can ditch the dry cleaner altogether. I love the comfort, the flexibility of my Rhone clothing. I can go from the office, I can go to a friend's house, I can go to my son's football practice in 103-degree weather at 6 o'clock on a Wednesday, Thursday, and I can still rock this Rhone shirt. Look at this stretchability, Jack. This is a dress shirt. This bad boy stretches like crazy. It's awesome. And sometimes I hang it up after washing it, and I'll spray a little water spray. So I'm like, okay, cool. It looks a little wrinkly. Like, is this shirt wrinkled? I thought they said I didn't have to wrinkle it. It's amazing. I put it on. It's like your body heat takes the wrinkles away. The Community Collection can get you through any workday and straight to whatever comes next. Head to Rhone.com/chatsports. That's Rhone.com/chatsports. Use promo code chatsports. You get 20% off your entire order. That's 20% off your entire order. Send that link and promo code to a friend if you want to. RHONE.com/chatsports. Use code chatsports. It's time to find your corner office comfort. Corey B. Boskine, is that how you pronounce it? Corey B. 410 on Twitter. He says, who is a player that nobody's talking about that you think will become a huge player for this Michigan football team? Let me think about that for a second. I'll give me some ideas. I want to ask you this question. Who is your 2023 breakout player that no one's expecting? Think about last year. There were so many in 2022's team. Mike Sainristil, okay? He switched from wide receiver. People thought that was a joke at this time last year. Mike Sainristil, he's a wide receiver. He's not even that good at one. He could have been the defensive MVP right last year. Mike Morris was even going to start this time last year. Turns out to be, Big Ten defensive lineman of the year. That's a breakout on that side of the ball. On the offensive side of the ball, it's tough to say. JJ MCCarthy, he wasn't even a starter at the beginning of the year. Led Michigan to an undefeated season. That could be a breakout one, although everyone was talking about him. I've got two. We talked about a couple of them. Cody Mountford said this guy. How about Tyler Morris? Right? And it's not because I think he's going to be the Michigan's leading wide receiver. It's not that I think he's going to have 1,000 yards or anything like that and 10 touchdowns. I think he could get 6, 8, 7 touchdowns if he has proved himself reliable in the red zone. But he's got JJ MCCarthy's trust. They were high school teammates, and he is in the starting lineup as of now, with a little over a week to go in the season. If Michigan's going to have a breakout offense, one of these young freshman or sophomore wide receivers has to step up. The fact that Tyler Morris is in the starting lineup, I am pegging him for my breakout potential on offense that no one is talking about. How about also on offense, A.J. Barner? The focus is so much on Colston Loveland, right? He is the guy that reminds people of all the great tight ends, like Gronk or Brock Bowers from Georgia or Jake Butt at Michigan. But A.J. Barner was a starting wide receiver in the Big Ten last year himself. He's got the experience. He's coming over here to Michigan to fight for a starting job, to get in the NFL. He's not going to take, a second. He's not going to take a second fiddle to anybody this year. So I think those two guys, when we look back, we're talking here in mid-October, mid-November, after the season, we might be saying like, wow, we were focusing on all these different guys, but how about A.J. Barner with those 7 touchdowns? How about, wide receivers? How about Tyler Morris with 500 yards? No one was talking about him at the beginning of the season. I like to think about those two guys as we have a super chat coming in from Jim Prindle, which we'll get to in just a moment. Jim, I see you, baby. I see you, Jim. Brad Butker writes, I struggle with the name every time, Brad, a multiple time super chatter. Really appreciate it. He says, go blue, Bosa, beat Ohio State again. Do you think the offensive line will have 5 guys drafted after this year? Let's take a look at my depth chart, my offensive line depth chart. How about those 5 guys across the top? Zach Zinter and Trevor Keegan would have been drafted last year. I think Ladarius Henderson would have been too if he had just gone from Arizona State, but he didn't want to be a 6th-round draft pick. He wanted to be a 2nd-round draft pick or a 1st-round draft pick. I think the same for Drake Nugent. He could have potentially been drafted or made a roster with a free agent, undrafted free agent. Carson Barnhart might be Michigan's best offensive lineman this year. He could actually switch over and get the start at left tackle. So I think Michigan has 5 guys. Miles Hinton could go pro. You never know. Trente Jones, he could get enough snaps to get in front of guys. He was a starter last season. I think 5 guys are going to get drafted in this offensive line. I think of that 2 deep, we'll see over the next 2 or 3 drafts, maybe as many as 8 or 9 of those guys that you just saw drafted in the NFL, which is frankly unprecedented in the history of college football. Jim Prindable, what up? Jim Prindable. We got to do a wheel spin. We'll do it right after the segment, Jack. So don't forget about the wheel spin. Jim, you got a wheel spin coming up here on the live show. Yoder, who do you think will actually be the cornerback starter opposite of Will Johnson? I think I've got a little graphic for that, Jack, we can go to on the cornerback position. Look, there's plenty. Everyone was high on Amarian Walker, okay? Everyone thought that he was going to be the guy. He's been hurt a little bit lately, although as of this past weekend, he is back in the building. I think the guy right there at the CB2, it's Josh Wallace. If only because he's been in the college football program for 4 years. He's got 2 years of starting under him. You could get in a situation where he starts the first 3, 4, 5, 6 games, and then Amarian Walker or Jair Hill or somebody else, Jade McBurrows, Micah Pollard, somebody kind of emerges, into the season and makes plays when they have to be made. I think Josh Wallace is the starter at quarterback to book it. If Will Johnson is limited or doesn't play at all in the first 1, 2, or 3 games, don't be surprised if Amarian Walker and Josh Wallace are your starters, though with Mike Sanders still at that nickel position. So it's going to be an exciting year, but that cornerback too, right? After we left last season, it was the only position that I thought, I've got a big question mark here. They kind of answered the question with Josh Wallace. We'll see how he plays. He might not get tested until, the 6th or 7th or 8th game of the year. I don't think we're going to learn a ton about what Josh Wallace brings to the table until he is tested with a team that has a deep downfield passing game. Blue Wolverine in the house, one of our executive producers. Haven't seen you a little bit, but Blue Wolverine, you are on these bad boys. I got you right here on some of these helmets. My man, appreciate you. He says, smash that like button. If you guys can, hit the like button as Blue Wolverine threw in there. Always helps the show, always helps the video, puts us in front of more Michigan football fans. Grassroots marketing, I think, is always the best marketing. Blue Wolverine, thanks to have you back. Let me know if you think 5 o'clock on Wednesdays Eastern is a good time for you to join weekly this football season. Michael coming in with a question. Do you think Roman Wilson will be a top 5 wide receiver this year? Now, I struggle to understand what he meant by this because the way it says, I think he kind of means in college football or in the draft. So if he means in college football, the answer is no, right? I don't think he's going to get anywhere near there. I think there's so many more talented guys. I would say that it's likely that Ohio State alone has 3 receivers who have better stats than Michigan's leading receiver this year. That's just the facts, unfortunately, at this point with the kind of offense they run. He's got to get in the field more. These are good stats, but they're not good for guys who've been in the program for 4 and now, 5 years as a Michigan football player. First 2 or 3, 4 games last year, it was like all Roman Wilson does is score touchdowns. Against Hawaii, a couple touchdowns, a reverse, and then a long pass. First game of the year, opening game of the year, he had a touchdown, almost like a screen pass. He took it 70 yards. But then we didn't hear from him for 6, 7, 8 games. He's getting 1 catch a game, 2 catches, 3 catches, 1 catch. And you look at the stat count, snap count, I should say, from him and Ronnie Bell and Adrian Arrington and Cornelius Johnson. He was always way behind those other guys. So even though Adrian Arrington, who might be the starting wide receiver for Oklahoma this year, Adrian Arrington, what's his name? Andrew Anthony, I apologize. He was getting more snaps last year than Roman Wilson was, even though he was a backup out the outside. So I'd like to see some good things from Roman Wilson. Will be a top 5 wide receiver on college football? No. On Michigan's team, of course. But I think the best we can probably ask for is that he is a definitive top 5 wide receiver in the Big Ten with the talent at Ohio State, Maryland, Michigan State. I don't think that's anything to sneeze at. But I'll ask you guys this question on this 2023 Michigan football team. Who will have the most receiving yards? Which of these players? And there's only 2 receivers on there, okay? Hell, it could be Tyler Morris. Do the write-in vote if you think it's going to be him. It could be A.J. Barner. But I think these are the guys that have the most likely opportunity. If it's going to be Roman Wilson, type RW, Cornelius Johnson, CJ, Colson Loveland, CL, or the Donovan Edwards, DE. I'll vote Cornelius Johnson because it just makes sense. But I wouldn't be surprised if any of these guys got the nod. It all comes down to who JJ MCCarthy trusts and who he goes to when they're open downfield to get those big chunks of yards and take them in for touchdowns. The Finesse says, with a lack of experience at wide receiver after the top 2 guys, do you think we'll feature tight end more like his Stanford days? Now, this is a damn good question. I like it a lot. And this is the perfect year for Michigan as a team to have lack of talent at wide receiver because you got that transfer to come over at the tight end position. Matt Hibner and Max Bredesen, they're going to be on the field a little bit. They probably won't catch more than a couple balls each, but they're very good blocking tight ends. But I think you can have a lot of situations where you've got Blake Corum in the backfield at running back, and you've got Cornelius Johnson and Roman Wilson out there at wide receiver with either A.J. Barner or Colson Loveland as the slot wide receiver, but like a wide tight end over there with wide receiver, with the other one being more up against the left tackle. So I like the depth chart. I do think that Michigan will feature the tight ends. I think Jim Harbaugh loves featuring the tight ends because it's such a versatile position. Now, they can block, of course. They can go downfield deep. They can go downfield short. They're good in the red zone. They're good on third down tight ends. If you got a good tight end, you've got somebody who can do a lot of things. Can he take that same philosophy to other positions of the field? Donovan Edwards. Can he get him down the field passing? Can he get him enough carries as a running back? JJ MCCarthy. He can pass the ball, but JJ MCCarthy can also run the ball. So Jim Harbaugh has so many options on this offense in any given play. Can he come up with a game plan every single week with Sherrone Moore, with Mike Hart, to make sure that Michigan is hitting on all cylinders? You're stepping into a Ferrari, the likes of which Michigan hasn't seen in a generation on offense. You have got to maximize this team, and I hope that Michigan does that in this 2023 season for the number 2 ranked Michigan Wolverines. We went live on Wednesday, 5 o'clock. That was the time that we chose because the early votes that we put on our YouTube community poll. So I want to know what you guys think. So in the live chat or in the comments in the on-demand video, just type, either you can type the letter if you want, or you can just type 11, 4, 2, or 5 Eastern times. What will be your preferred time for a live show? We're just going to let you guys dictate what it is. And maybe we'll do it on a weekly basis on Mondays or something like that. We'll put out a poll. But early results of our polls on YouTube, the YouTube live chat, and these chats, the YouTube live poll, I should say, and these chats seems to be 5 o'clock like 60, 70% of the time. So I think 5 o'clock is what we'll stick with unless something changes big time. Might try a later one time. Jack, you be up for a primetime show one of these weeks, maybe? We might have to do one of those. So let me know 11, 2, 4, or 5 p.m. Eastern. Cody Mountford. Cody, you're just behind the Super Chat MVP. Who is it? It's Jim, and then we got the other Jim Printable at 25, so he's in the running at least, right? So Cody, I think you're like 12, 36, there's $8 behind. Cody, a $10, I'll get you that down, sure, but thank you for this 10. On defense, we need to get more pressure in key games. We only got to Stroud once. Josh Wallace was a key on defense. If he can play well, our defense will be better than last year. I think that's such a good point, Cody. You should be doing your own show, your own podcast, YouTube show, because you're making a lot of really good points. If Michigan allows a passing team like Ohio State or maybe a Florida State or hell, like an Oklahoma, who knows who they might face in the postseason? Penn State's I think is going to be a lot better. They've got a 5-star top 10 player in the country quarterback coming out of high school from 2 years ago in Drew Aller. If you get picked on in that second quarterback position, then that really takes your entire defensive strategy and just throws it out the window if they can just keep picking on one single guy. We saw it plenty of times with Ohio State, Michigan in 2018 and 2019. But it all starts with the pass rush. I think Josiah Stewart, the amount of tackles and sacks he had in his true freshman year 2 years ago, it's kind of inspiring. I don't have him as a starter as of now, but we're 4 deep at the defensive end position. It's got to be, I think, Josiah Stewart or Derek Moore. One of those guys who are the true athletes. I've got them as my backups now, but they're going to get into the game in that Josh Uche, that David Ojabo role, both them, where it's 3rd and 7, and they only have one role. It's the second the ball is snapped, you run as hard and as fast as you can at the quarterback. If they hand the ball off, cool. If they pass the ball quick, cool. That's not his responsibility. Those two guys will give it either at the same time or flip-flop. One guy's one series, one guy's one third down. Hit the quarterback, get him, crush him. Worked with David Ojabo, worked with Aiden Hutchinson. Didn't work as well like that last year, and those are the two things that are really the stains on the Michigan defense coming into this year. You solve them, you have yourself a national championship team. Make sure you guys follow the Michigan Football Report on Instagram. We'll put the link I got, Jack, in the live chat. It's also down in the comments and the description of today's video. We launched a new Instagram channel or page 3-4 months ago. Didn't post on a ton this offseason, but it'll be daily posts now, just like on the YouTube channel. Daily post, and I'm going to make it private one day a week to talk some inside Michigan football stuff that I want to put on YouTube because it's a little too sensitive. Injuries, depth charts, game plans. So subscribe or follow us on Instagram so when we go private, you can still get all the juicy inside information. Bill Graves in the house. Chicka. Do you think Colson Loveland will be the key to helping wide receivers find more space along with the threat of Edwards? I alluded to this a second ago with the other question on the tight ends with him and A.J. Barner, is where Colson Loveland is being featured in this offense in fall camp so far is a lot of times he's the third wide receiver. You've got A.J. Barner when they run the 2 tight ends, 2 wide receiver, 1 running back set. A.J. Barner is up against the left tackle or the right tackle. And then Colson Loveland is on the wide side of the field. And they're giving him opportunities. If you think about the route trees, Barner is running those 5, 7, 10, 12-yard routes. Sometimes it's just 6 yards, 7 yards, turn around. Sometimes it's up and out. Sometimes it's this, there. Where Coastal Loveland's given the opportunity to go 10, 15, 20. Sometimes it's going out to the sideline and up, like we saw in the Big Ten championship game. So if you can do that, think about how much of a threat Gronkowski or any of these Travis Kelce are. That if you've got a guy who can go upfield that size, that kind of ability, catches the ball, like the entire rest of the field opens up. So for me, it's all going to come down to it's not going to be whether or not they've got the players that can make the plays. It's whether the coaches call the plays that put them in a position, and JJ MCCarthy has the confidence and is given the reign to not just go one look and either dump underneath or take off like it seemed like he was almost all of last year. It's he can go to the first read, second read, third read, hit the guy, he might be open, and Michigan's offense is just going to open up like the parting of the seas. Jack Louderay, a.k.a. Young Harbaugh, and I were live next Saturday, September 2nd, Labor Day weekend, 11:15, 45 minutes before the game. We'll have our pregame breakdown. We'll take your questions. We will get the party started. If you guys want to super chat for that game, you could end up getting me drunk because I always like to have a couple cocktails during a Michigan football game. We'll let you guys contribute every touchdown. You can super chat. I might take a swig or two. YouTube.com/Michigan TV next Saturday, 11:15. We'll be live 11:15 to almost 4 o'clock probably, on 4:30, 30, 45 minutes after the game. We will be live, youtube.com/Michigan TV. The game's the Peacock. If we can get on every game after that, if you guys like to watch parties, we'll continue to do them, but make sure you join us for that first one next Saturday, 11:15 a.m. We have a new Super Show, Jim Prindable, Jack shots. Jack, we got to do shots. Can you go get me a shot, a glass, and then you got a shot glass. I forgot to grab one, and the Jack Daniels. Jim Prindable, I think you're our guy. I think you got our Super Chat menu. Woo! Jim, we're going to take a shot of Jack. Jack Louderay will show you the Super Chat menu. Really appreciate it, Jim. You're crushing it, man. We owe you 7. We got 1 on there. I think we got 1 on there. Yeah. 7 total, so we owe 6 more helmet stickers, and you're going to win the Don t-shirt. We're going to let it go for about another 2-3 minutes. As soon as Jack gets back here with the Jack Daniels shots, we're gonna call it, right, Jack? In a moment, the winner, Jack Daniels. Yep. Jim Prindable. So Jack, can we put up a clock 1 minute? If anybody wants to beat Jim Prindable is at $75, and the other Jim is at, what was he at? 44, right? 44. So all right. So Jack and Jack. Jack's got yours. I've got mine. Not a big drinker, Jack, but because his name's Jack, we said do shout out Jack. So we will call it the winner. So Jim Prindable. Got to make sure it's almost like you're at an auction, right? You got to see if someone pops in with 5 second stuff. You got to keep it ready. Like keep a super chat up just in case. If anybody wants to win that Don t-shirt from me, we're going to pick a winner here in 40 seconds. While we're doing that, Young Harbaugh and myself, Jack, here's to a season. Woo, that's what I'm talking about. Lynchburg's finest. Woo, I wasn't ready for that. That would be great. What do we got? What did I miss in the camp? So Jeremy Clore is 3rd place, right? No? Yeah. Oh, Max Shook. Okay, so Jeremy is 4th, or who's 4th? I forget. That's Jack Daniels. I haven't had a shot of Jack warm in a while. That's hit me. So 6 seconds left. Who's going to be our winner? 4, 3, 2, 1. Jim Prindable. Jim, if you can right now to make it easier on both of us, do you have either a Twitter account, Instagram account, or email that you feel comfortable putting in the live chat? Jack and I will contact you. If not, you can DM me on Twitter at James Yoder. Only problem is, this has happened to me once or twice in the past, is, I don't know, MishFan27 can just DM me and say, hey, it's me, Jim Prindable, and I could fall for it. So it's, it's kind of, tough. Or if you want to comment on our last video, I can search for you in YouTube and I can reply to you. If you want to comment on one of our on-demand videos, I can reply to you there just to verify. So if you have one, Jim Prindable, you are the winner of our The Don t-shirt. I'm going to ship that out to you this week, Thursday or Friday. So hopefully you have it by next week. He says, go blue. So Jim, do you have a social media account or anything that we can message you at? If not, send me a message on Twitter at James Yoder if you don't feel comfortable sharing it, or comment on our one of our videos this week. I'll just search for your username Let's just search your username a day from now. So you have a day to do it. Comment on one of them to say, James, hit me up with a Don shirt. I'll reply to that from the channel, and then we can exchange information. We can figure out how to get you. I'll send you our email address. You can email us and let us know what your address is and size. We can get you the Don T-shirt. Thank you so much, Jim Printable. If you do, we'll keep an eye on the live chat for the next couple minutes while we are live, and if not, we'll make sure we connect. You are the winner of a The Don T-shirt, and you are a Super Chat MVP. Jack, let's do this. Write yourself a note. Starting today, MVP. So it's like MVP. It's like August 23rd, Jim Printable. Yeah, so I'll start off with the list 4, and then like this 3, and then it'll be 1 empty. Maybe we put the dates there, right? It's like 8/23, 8/20, 8/30, and then September 2nd, right? We'll kind of have 2 per week. And we'll update that every single week. So at the end of the show, we can kind of announce it and put them on there. Thank you so much, Jeremy Clore. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Michigan is 35.5-point favorites over 8-5 ECU team that was in their conference championship game last year, but they're replacing like 17 starters. I don't think that's going to be much of a game, but we'll be live for it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Type Go Blue if you're a Michigan football fan, guys. Let's make sure we end this show on a good note. Type Go Blue. Let me know what you guys, if you're repping the Wolverines. What we got? Oh, we got 2 wheel spins, Jack says. So we don't want to go before that. All right, 2 wheel spins. So type Go Blue while we're doing these last 2 wheel spins. Go Blue from Mike Fort. Go Blue from Jeremy Clore. Bosa, Jeremy. Bosa. Nate DeGreat. Go Blue. Bosa. Bill Graves, one of our Super Chat leaders today as well. Go Blue. Gosh, I'm pumped for the season. I am pumped for the season, guys. I am pumped for the season. Okay, let me try. So you always got to start because like there's this very melody. It's the flute. It's like, but it's like, hail to the victors, valiant, hail to the conquering heroes, hail to Michigan, the leaders and best. Hail to the victors, valiant, hail to the conquering heroes, hail to Michigan, the champions of the West. Go Blue! All right, 1 more wheel spin, and then we are out. It is 6:16 Central, 7:16 Eastern. We'll be back next Wednesday, but we'll have a bunch of content, daily video on the channel from there. Yole, 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 yee-hoo. Mike Lane, A-Train, 132. Account 22, yole, yole, yole. Account 22, yole, yole, yole. Nate DeGreat, yole, yole, yole. Jim Printable. Jim, make sure to reply to one of our comments, and so we can get your information, or DM me on Twitter at James Yoder, and I'll try and verify it so we can get you the Don shirt. Jim is our MVP, and he is getting a the Don 7 t-shirt here from us at Chat Sports. Videos daily, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We'll be live next Wednesday. I think it's going to be 5 o'clock Eastern again, but I will announce it on Twitter and on the YouTube community channel here so you will know. Glad to everyone who joined. Thank you so much to all the people who super chatted. Appreciate it. So we see you guys next time. Go Blue.